996, 997, 998, 999, 1000. Time to do the other side. Oh, I hit the live button. Oh, that's so embarrassing. Oh, I was just in the middle of my workout routine. I didn't know I was live. What? Must have been when I spilled all those protein shakes on my setup, man. Oh, oopsie daisy for me, huh? Hello, my beautiful movie peeps, and welcome to the Friday live stream. Yeah, that's right. Boom, boom, power. Senior discount if you remember watching that as a kid. How are you guys doing? It is so nice to see your lovely, beautiful faces here on the stream. Oh, already getting them comp. Rip 3C. Let me just do my ripped pose. You know, if I flex a little, what if I just do the whole stream like this? Just really holding in that stress. So today, guys, gonna pop a blood vessel with that one. All right, it is so nice to see you guys on a lovely Friday, and what a fantastic week it was, man. We had the Avengers Doomsday cast. We are now living in a time where we can picture what is gonna be happening in that movie. Is it something gonna happen over there? Will something occur that way? Am I gonna flex the whole stream? Maybe. All right, guys, what we're going to be talking about here today, running through some of the topics just to let you know. We're going to be looking at some breaking news involving the Leprechaun franchise. Just saw that before we went live. We're going to talk about that. Legend of Zelda got a release date and its competition surrounding it. Blumhouse put out a little teaser for Five Nights at Freddy's 2 for the bigger teaser we're getting next week. I Know What You Did Last Summer, that reboot, the official plot and poster has come out. We're going to take a look at that. Netflix confirming their live-action Scooby-Doo series and the new origin story for the Mystery Gang. Gonna be looking at that. Daredevil has a brand new suit, and whoo, it is screaming aura. The same way I was giving off aura at the beginning of this stream, Daredevil is doing the same for y'all. Some theories involving Avengers Doomsday now that we got the cast. Are they setting up X-Men versus the Avengers? And Spider-Man might actually not be an Avengers Doomsday. We're going to be talking about that along with so much more. So I just want to go ahead and go through some of the chats that I see right now. Chicken Jockey, Double D's. Oh, you can't see it, but I'm making them move. Honestly, I'm just making my shoulders move now that I look at it. Cyclops and Gambit. I hope they do the brotherly handshake. They go, to me, my X-Men. Oh, you know how long I've been waiting to be part of this team? Hopefully he says something else about his daddy's balls, the way he did in Deadpool and Wolverine. Oh, you're right. I forgot, as one of the topics, the Superman reports. Yes, that is still here. I accidentally skipped it, but it is one of the topics. The Superman reports, and we got a reveal of a big cameo in the movie that just got spoiled online. But I'll give you a warning before that. Oh, super chat early. Well, guess I accidentally clicked it. So what'd you say? Chris, I made a list of confirmed MCU characters for Doomsday and possible characters. If you would like to check it out, it's a Google Doc, but IDK how to send it. Honestly, man, I wouldn't know how to send it either. I would try MySpace. MySpace might be the best way to get me. Release. Oh, just so many good Minecraft quotes. And your boy did order something from Minecraft, and hopefully I get a Minecraft little vlog video for you. Flint and Steel. Hi, I'm Steve. I gotta look up more quotes because those like the only ones I know other than Chicken Jockey. So yeah, let me just see what else are coming. Just a couple more before we get into it. Red lights. Oh, this is the part of the stream where people come back and watch and they just skip to the first topic, man. But you know, this is for the people right now live. And I appreciate all 1,500 of y'all coming in here. That's about as many reps as I did with my little weight. Okay, let's just jump in now to the first story. And the first story, like I said, is breaking news. Literally, this article just went up moments before this live stream. So we're going to talk about it here. You guys know, I'm a big horror fan. And growing up watching horror movies, I sometimes liked the really trashy, dumb franchises, and I stand by the Leprechaun franchise. Okay, right here. Got us, I think it's like 5 movies in total. It's quite a few. Well, with Warwick Davis, it's about 6 movies with him, man. We had the first 4 Leprechaun movies. Boy went to space at one point holding a lightsaber. Then he went to the hood. We all been to the hood. Leprechaun been twice. How many times you been to the hood? Then he got rebooted. Awful. Then he got rebooted again for TV. Not as awful. Kind of okay, actually. Either way, I have been dying for this franchise to come back because it has been a guilty pleasure. And in 2023, we were promised a Leprechaun reboot. And I was like, let's go, baby. It's going to be by Lionsgate. It would be going back to theaters. And I'm like, might not be with Warwick Davis. He made this role legendary and very fun. But okay, I'd love to see you reboot it and try to get the vibes of those original movies. And, well, today we unfortunately got some pretty sad news. So, going over here to Bloody Disgusting, the #1 website for horror movie news, they actually reported here. See if I can pull up the article for you guys. Leprechaun update. Felipe Vargas no longer directing Lionsgate's next installment. Felipe was the guy who was confirmed to be the director of this movie. Not that he's done anything like out of their crazy. He's not, like I would say like Fede Alvarez or Lee Cronin, someone who did something absolutely amazing that made you go, oh, he's gonna be perfect for that. He did a pretty decent horror movie. I'm trying to see what that horror movie was. A movie called Milk Teeth, which honestly did not see, so I had no way to gauge if this director was going to be good or not. The only thing I had to gauge was the comments he made about the vibe he was going to go with for the movie. And let me see, I have them right here. He let us know that his Leprechaun movie, let me see, oh geez, where are those comments? Yeah, I hate when an article does not load up good. But basically, the comments about what his movie was going to look like, it said that he was going, that the movie was going to be scary as hell and also hilarious. Perfect, exactly what I wanted from a Leprechaun reboot. I want you to keep those horror vibes, because those first 3, a little bit in the 4th movie, but those first 3 Leprechaun movies, the kills are actually pretty good. Pretty underrated stuff. I talked about it in the last stream. 2 booby kills, pretty good booby kills. And I was like, at the same time, it's still a very funny franchise. Warwick Davis was having a blast. He was like Freddy Krueger, making jokes and killing at the same time. There was a Lucky Charms joke in the first movie. Very good. And it was going to be in Reinvention. I'm like, just those comments alone, I was like, he seemed perfect for the job. But now it's no longer happening. They do let us know here, though, whoever ends up taking over as director of the next Leprechaun movie will be the 9th installment in the franchise. And then they mention who the screenwriter and producer are. So the main reason this is making me sad is not because, oh, man, I lost out on that director. It's like, okay, it wasn't a Fede Alvarez. It wasn't like a super, really accredited, well-known horror director where I'm like, no, we missed out on someone great. I'm sure he would have done fine, but I'm okay with someone else if they have a decent background. I just want this movie to happen. And you losing the director after you announced the movie 2 years ago, to me is a sign movie might not be happening anymore. They might have lost interest. They've decided this is probably a dumb idea, not going to go well, which I think is the wrong way to go. Horror right now is pretty thriving, and they're making money on horror if you budget it right. I mean, I think there was a report for the Final Destination trailer that just came out, Final Destination Bloodlines. That trailer ended up becoming the 2nd most watched horror trailer of all time. And I'm like, that's pretty awesome. Oh, sorry for that advertisement there. That's pretty awesome, because the Final Destination franchise, be honest with you, the movie's never made like outrageous money at the box office. They always did decently. In fact, I saw somebody said the most opening weekend a Final Destination movie made in an opening was $27 million, which compared to other franchises, $27 million, it's not really that huge of a hit, but that's the biggest. This movie's definitely going to hit it. And I think Leprechaun maybe has that fan base that, over time people have gotten there. Not as big as Final Destination, nowhere there. But I think there was enough people that probably would have seen it. So, I don't know. As a big Leprechaun fan, Just disappointed that they lost the director. Still no idea what's happening in this movie. We do have CinemaCon coming up next week, and Lionsgate does have a panel. Maybe with this news out there, they'll decide to update us on it, but I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it. This might be one of those cases where this will be the last update we get on this reboot, and it's going to go to dead silence until 5-6 years. They go, Leprechaun reboot now in the works. That's what might happen here. So this looks like movie might not be happening, man. Unfortunately, but hey, we'll see what happens. I hope it ends up happening somehow. All right, let's move on now, and let me know if you guys are disappointed or happy, and if you think we're ever getting another one. I already see some people in the chat. Doesn't matter if Warwick Davis isn't coming back. Trust me, I 100% agree. But I thought that sci-fi movie, although not as good, that actor tried his best and at least gave us the vibe of what Warwick Davis did, as opposed to what WWE did with their reboot. Huck Pooey on that movie, man. All right, so let's move on. Okay, Legend of Zelda. As we know, a Legend of Zelda movie is in the works. It's going to be coming to us. Well, now we have the release date for the Legend of Zelda movie. We knew it's going to be directed by Wes Ball, who just did Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and now we know the movie will be coming out March 26, 2027. 2 years, buddy. 2 years you're going to have to wait for this Legend of Zelda movie, which I guess it makes sense. I'm thinking they're about to film this thing maybe at the end of this year, beginning next year, and that's a lot of time for them to take their time with the visual effects, creating that world, and building a nice fantasy universe we can jump into. Because it being live action, I wanted to have that immersive feel. I've only ever played what was the first Nintendo Switch game? Not Ocarina of Time. Was it Ocarina of Time? That's the only Legend of Zelda game I ever played, and it was because my friend begged me to, because I told him I'd never played one. But I knew the potential for this would be really good. Now, people have already pointed out, though, the competition is a steep for this movie. Breath of the Wild. Thank you. I was going to say Brave of the Wild, but that didn't make sense in my brain. Breath of the Wild, which actually was a really great game on the Switch. Here's letting us know Sonic 4 and the live-action Legend of Zelda movie will release 1 week apart from each other in March of 2027. Sega versus Nintendo. Been a long time since that's been a realistic battle, and we're getting it in the movie sphere. Not just that, but I believe Sonic 4 also releases the same day as the new Godzilla and Kong movie. Let me look that up. Godzilla and Kong 3 release date. That's set March. Oh, so it's coming out the same day as Legend of Zelda. Oh, yeah. Somebody moving. Sonic 4, Legend of Zelda, or Guardians of Kong 3, or Godzilla and Kong 3. Somebody's moving from that release date. That is not a healthy time to be around. And we've seen it happen when there's too many big movies right next to each other. Hey, it's expensive to go to the movie. And these are kind of family or bring your friend kind of movies, you know? So you're going in with at least 3 to 4 tickets being bought. Can families, be doing that back to back? 4 tickets for Sonic 4, 4 tickets for Legend of Zelda, 4 tickets for Godzilla and Kong in the span of 2 weeks? One of those movies is suffering, so it's best that they move. We'll see who ends up doing that. It's going to be a long time before any of them make that decision. If anything, I think it'll be Sonic 4 that probably moves up to like February or something like that. But we'll see. Either way, it's still interesting. As far as my expectations for this Legend of Zelda movie, I just really want to know who they're going to cast as Link, how young they're going to go, what the tone is going to be. Because we saw kind of what the Mario movie ended up being. I like the Mario movie. I grew up on Mario, played a lot of Mario games, so I was able to understand a lot of those references. And even Chris Pratt and Seth Rogen, those voices didn't bother me at the end of the day. I found the movie to be very fun. I was surprised how many newcomers did not enjoy it, but is that same sort of situation going to happen with Legend of Zelda? Would the movie go a goofy route? I hope not. I'm thinking they're going to go a pretty serious route, but also then will it alienate some people if it's too much orientated to the video game fans? As far as Link, I'm already seeing Tom Holland being spammed in the chat. That man will be 30, my age, by the time this movie will come out. I don't think you want a 30-year-old Link, although he looks very young and he could probably still pull off like 20 when that movie comes out. I don't think they go Tom Holland. It would be amazing. It would be amazing. But he also just had his video game movie with the Uncharted film, and Sony still says they're maybe going to do a sequel to that. Find out at CinemaCon probably. No, I was seeing some realistic choices like Walker Scobell, my personal friend. We hang out almost never, but we did take a picture together and he followed me on TikTok. So that means me and him, best friends. And if he ends up being Link, baby, I'm using that friend card to be like, let me get on that set. Let me play a pot that you hit and destroy for loot. Because that's a thing that happens in Zelda. Proof I've played a game. Didn't know I had that kind of knowledge, did you? I think he'd be great. He already is looking a little bit older, but he's got that look to get it down. I'm seeing so many, like Jack Black could end up playing, what's the bad guy name? Gandalf? Is it Gandalf? What is it? Gandalf? Good. It's something G. I forget. Okay. Link bad guy. What's the guy? Sorry, guys. Ganondorf, right? It's Ganondorf or Ganon. It's Guh. Let's just name him Guh for me. Ganondorf. Jack Black, I could see him voicing Ganondorf. Why not? He was Bowser. He's Steve. He was even the robot in freaking Borderlands. Jack Black is cornering the market of video game adaptations. Let's just let him be that. Like, let's let him be Zelda. Jack Black Zelda would probably go hard. I would. Chris Rock, all that. So I don't know. Mason Thames, that's not a bad one. Mason Thames, let's see what that. Oh, he'd be good. He's the How to Train Your Dragon Hiccup kid. I could see that. I could see that. He's also getting up there. He's definitely got that same look. I could see that happening. Lewis Pullman, definitely a little too old. Lewis Pullman, the Sentry, I think he's unfortunately a little too old to be Link. Yeah, I mean, that's no offense to him. He's a nice young man, 32 I don't think we're getting Link in his 30s. I don't think they're doing it. I think they're going to stay relatively young for that. But either way, it's awesome. I have faith in the director, Wes Ball, because I loved Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I was surprised to see people didn't like that movie. I thought he did a great job with that, so it's given me hope for this. To end this off, who do I think will win? Putting Godzilla and Kong aside, between Sonic 4 and Legend of Zelda, that is tough. It all depends on a couple of things. Does Jim Carrey come back for Sonic 4? And how badass do you make Metal Sonic in that first trailer? Because that will be a real determinant factor. But I also don't know if Metal Sonic is that mainstream well known to hype up the world. And sometimes it's easier for general audiences to jump into the start of a franchise as opposed to the fourth film in a franchise. You know, that's also something to take part of. So it's a real chance Legend of Zelda could outbeat Sonic 4, but we got to see what Legend of Zelda looks like. You guys let me know, though, your thoughts on that release date and who do you think would be winning this battle. All right, let's move on now, talking about some Blumhouse. So Papa Blum, Jason Blum, just the other day, tweeted out this little video playing in front of a bunch of tweets asking James Gunn, hey, FNAF, we're FNAF, FNAF 2. Anytime Jason Blum, the head of Blumhouse Studios, tweets something, there's going to be 50 tweets begging him about some FNAF 2. And, well, he fed up. He said, 1 week, y'all. 1 week, and he threw in a little Golden Freddy scare. Now, we also had the beginning there. You could see the mechanic they use in the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 where you put on the mask and it shields you from the animatronics. Really hoping that's a mechanic they implement into the second movie. That would be fun. But, okay, it makes sense that we're going to get some Five Nights at Freddy's 2 because I believe we got some Five Nights at Freddy's 2 at, I guess the first one, at CinemaCon. We had Five Nights at Freddy's stuff at CinemaCon. Oh, look, there's my little thumbnail. Be on the lookout for that next week, too. Please support the CinemaCon videos. Work hard on those. But I remember they did talk about it. They were on stage. There we go, at the Universal panel. And, okay, couple of interesting things I wonder about they're going to reveal. The only thing that sometimes sucks about CinemaCon is that they don't release that information back to the public. It's starting now, to become a thing because more people are becoming aware of it. CinemaCon used to be a thing where it's like more just for the people in the industry. It's a convention for theater owners, but now it's becoming more of like a Comic-Con for movies, and now you're having influencers and creators like me talk about it. So now they're starting to release stuff more and make it an event. Still would not put money on it that we're getting an actual teaser release. My money is that we do because Jason Blum put it out there and all that, but all we could get is just official casting announcements. You have to remember some of the stuff that we've been getting the past couple of weeks for Five Nights at Freddy's, like with Skeet Ulrich, I believe is how you say his name, Skeet Ulrich, who we believe is playing Henry Emily is his name, Henry, the partner of William Afton in the games. It said they just thought, hey, Scream, people loved Matthew Lillard. Let's bring in his partner, Billy Loomis, and have him play Henry. Thank you, Henry. Let me correct. All right. And so they could just finally officially announce him because so far it's only been announced by a Twitter account, not any official sources. So they could do that. I bet maybe an official poster. Still think it's slightly too early for a teaser trailer or something like that, but it could very well happen. Just because the movie comes out in October, I don't think we're getting a real teaser trailer till like June or July, honestly. But still, we're getting some announcements, some things. The one thing I wish they would talk about that they're not going to bring up, I wonder if they're still going to go ahead and do the same day and date release thing. Where because I was surprised when they did that with the first movie. They released it in theaters and on streaming the exact same day. And I don't think that's because I don't think they knew how much money the movie was going to make for them. It turned out to be Blumhouse's biggest movie. And now that they know that, I don't think they're going to put it on streaming the same day. It'd be interesting if they do, but I doubt it'll be going to streaming the same day. But only reason I don't think they'll confirm that is because, again, it's a convention about theater owners. They ain't going to mention nothing streaming. That's why you don't see Netflix. Actually, Amazon is there this year, which is interesting because they put a lot of stuff on streaming. But Amazon also believes in the theater experience, so that's why they'll be there. So I don't know. I'm kind of interested in that. Well, I'm curious to know, but it'll be like a week or two after CinemaCon. They'll be like, "Hey, we're also gonna be on Peacock. So if you want to watch us on the cock, get a subscription." Other than that, though, it would be so cool if they like brought out the animatronics on stage. That would just imagine that some of the animatronics for the Jim Henson Company up there. It's probably just the costumes. They're not going to be actually walking, but even people in costumes would be pretty nice. An official look though of like the toy animatronic looks, that would be nice. Give me that cheeky look. Give me that cheeky look. But I don't know what it could be. All we know is we're getting something, and Universal's got so many other things to announce along with all the other studios for CinemaCon. You know I'm gonna be reporting on it right away, so stay tuned for that. But hey, give me your theories and thoughts on what you think they'll announce. Is it casting? Is it posters, official images, teaser trailer? Or maybe they just say movie's canceled. Nah, they ain't gonna say that, but it'd be funny. No, it wouldn't be funny. Well, okay, cool. Let's move on now to another horror movie I'm looking forward to that I don't know if a lot of you guys are. I Know What You Did in Your Mama's Room. That's my version. I Know What You Did last summer. We got the official poster for this reboot. I still think the funniest thing about this movie is we got an Easter egg of it in Madam Web. I just remember sitting in Madam Web, laughing my butt off, thinking how horrible this movie is, and the girls are watching I Know What You Did Last Summer on TV, and I'm like, oh, Sony's rebooting that. That's an Easter egg for me. Best Easter egg of Madam Web. Still believe that. But, hey, poster is as creative as it can be with what they got. Villain in this movie is always having a hook and killing people, so they put a bloody hook on there. Cool. It was actually the plot, the official plot of this movie that shouldn't be surprising, but the way they phrase it kind of made me laugh and go, what? Okay, so we have here the official plot put out by Sony. When five friends inadvertently cause a deadly car accident, they cover up their involvement and make a pact to keep it a secret rather than face the consequences. A year later, their past comes back to haunt them, and they're forced to confront a horrifying truth. Someone knows what they did last summer, and hell-bent on revenge. As one by one, friends are stalked by a killer, they discover this has happened before, and they turn to two survivors of the legendary Southport Massacre of 1997 for help. Okay, couple of things on that. If you're someone who has not seen the original I Know What You Did Last Summer, I do implore you to watch the first two. I like the second one. Don't even bother with the third one unless you just want to laugh. But if you didn't, maybe you saw Scary Movie and you saw the parody version, which is close enough, baby, where, yes, a group of teens right here, they end up accidentally killing a guy, and they don't want to go to jail. They don't want, because they're kids, they're young, they'll know they'll be, if you remember in Scary Movie, I always thought that was the funniest. You know what they do to guys like us in prison? Oh, maybe we should go to prison. That boy was gay. I said it. I think I figured it out. But then at the end of the movie, he actually does say he wasn't gay. The twist Scary Movie had. I'm glad we could reminisce about that movie. Can't wait about Scary Movie 6. Okay. But the funniest part about that plot, still good movies, written by Kevin Williamson, who did Scream also. The way this plot is worded is so funny to me. Because, again, remember, this is the premise. Teenagers accidentally kill a guy. They throw him in the water, try to avoid it, and now someone is stalking them, threatening them with, I know what you did, and I'm going to kill you. And look, I get it if it's Nightmare on Elm Street. Heck, if it's even Michael Myers, right? Because if I start having dreams about a guy with knives for hands who has a burnt face and a Christmas sweater, and someone else 20 years ago had that same problem, yeah, I'll go to them for advice. But to go to someone for advice for killing someone and covering it up, that's a weird, that's just help from another murderer. That's so weird. I was like, I just killed somebody. You killed someone too? Help me out here. What we doing? How'd you get away with it? I'd like to get away with it too. Just the way that plot is phrased is so funny to me. It's like, they know we killed somebody. They got away with it also. I think that's just a hilarious part. And that's never even something that's been addressed in the franchise. At the end of the day, these teenagers did kill somebody, try to cover it up. Sure, they got stalked, haunted, and tried to kill them. They never got prosecuted. But yet, it's still widely known that, oh, those teenagers, they got away with it. You might want help from them, buddy. They got a good lawyer. I think they watched all seasons of How to Get Away with Murder. Really good stuff. Viola Davis, you know her? Won an Oscar. Won an Oscar. Do you know that guy in Scary Movie was gay? It's just funny. It's just funny. They got away with it. They rolled off. But the way the plot was phrased had me dying, because I was like, okay, so it's exactly the same plot from the original movie, but they're going to go to the original people who got away with it to figure out how to get away with it. Makes sense. Makes sense. You know, it's just kind of funny. It's just kind of funny. I'm still really looking forward to this. The trailer will really give us paint a picture of whether it'd be good or not, you know, because I don't want to paint any funny pictures yet, but like I remember some of the comments the writer and director were making of the movie, and they were really pushing on like the modern themes of like social media and things like that. And that's always such a tricky part when you include that into a movie, you know, right? Because sometimes we get out of it when we, like, you saw what happened to Influencer Smurf. If I see the guys sending them threatening TikToks, you know? So I don't know. I'm still excited though. I'm looking forward to it. Maybe Sony is doing something good. And it is cool that they got Freddie Prinze Jr. and Jennifer Love Hewitt back for this one, who again are the main couple of the original movie. The rest, you got to watch that movie to see if they live to die. And there's rumors other cast members might be coming back. But you guys let me know. You happy with this plot? It's exactly the same plot. It's what you expected. I think it's just that last sentence that kind of made me chuckle. They go, well, that's just figuring out how to get away with murder. They could go to jail. No, they'd go to a good lawyer. Is probably what they need. Just a good lawyer. Okay. Let's move on now to something else that I've always thought has the same vibe as I Know What You Did Last Summer. Probably because 2 stars from that movie are in this movie. The live action Scooby-Doo. I don't know. Aren't you guys wishing they would do something with this franchise? Aren't you like, I'm always like, Warner Brothers, You know how many generations of kids just grew up on live action Scooby Doo? You make a third movie, $1 billion. I guarantee it. Fine. You don't want to? You make a reboot live action with some pretty well known faces? You make $1 billion again. And yet, Warner Brothers is on this weird kick where they don't realize some of the properties they have could make money. Looney Tunes, for instance, and Scooby Doo. Because, Warner Brothers licensed out the Scooby Doo property to Netflix. And so we are getting a live action Scooby Doo TV show that will be coming to Netflix. Now, the one hesitation I did have about this before I go into the actual plot of the show and the new origin story is that it's being done by Greg Berlanti, and that name might be familiar to you because he was the guy who was responsible for most of the DC shows on the CW. Or no, am I wrong, or is it just the Riverdale? I believe he did some of the CW shows. Let me see. He did Green Lantern. He was a producer on that. Did Riverdale, did The Flash, Gotham Knights, and all that. But he's kind of the Riverdale producer, Greg Berlanti. So he's had like a huge hand in a lot of those Titans, Doom Patrol, Batwoman, Supergirl. Yeah, so like I said, all the like CW type DC shows, which some people love, some people hate. That's the kind of vibe he's bringing into live action Scooby-Doo. It's on Netflix, different network. I'm sure there was maybe rules on CW that limited him in some things. I'm going to give it a chance. Can't be worse than Velma, right? Well, along with this announcement that Netflix made saying, okay, we're going to move forward with this. We are going to make this TV show. They revealed the official plot that also lets you know the new origin story for the Mystery Gang. So actually, let me pull up the tweet from Netflix because it has it better displayed. Scooby, or is it just Scooby? And I was kind of shocked with the way they're reimagining this. So they have it here. In this modern reimagining, old friends Shaggy and Daphne team up at summer camp with scientific townie Velma and the strange but handsome Fred to solve the mystery of a lost, lonely Great Dane puppy who may have witnessed a supernatural murder. And here you go. The first page of the script, Scooby-Doo episode 101 with the writers here. Okay, so first off, I think the interesting thing about Scooby-Doo, because we've had many iterations as decades gone by, I think there's been like 10 different shows on Cartoon Network and whatnot, and the animated movies are endless, and even Matthew Lillard, I think, is still voicing Shaggy. So the funny part about, or not the funny part, but the cool thing about Scooby-Doo is I don't think there is a definitive origin. There's no Peter Parker. There's no Batman where, you know, Uncle Ben has to die. His parents has to die. There's no real definitive origin for Scooby-Doo. So whenever you reboot it or do something new, you can change it up however you want as long as you keep the characteristics of the characters the same, which Velma, in my opinion, didn't, and is why I really didn't like it. And so I have no problem with that being the new origin, but I do want to make some comments on it. So I think it's funny that whatchamacallit, Scooby and Shaggy are not best friends from the very beginning. That's at least always how I want the origin story to go, because I grew up on a pup named Scooby-Doo. I don't know how many of you guys watched that or grew up with that, but I watched the crap out of that. Scooby-Dooby, Daphne, Shaggy, Velma, and the crew. Good stuff. And it was just them as little kids, and they were still solving mysteries. But I always saw it that way, is one day Shaggy went into a pet store, or one day his parents gave him little Scooby. They were friends, da-da-da-da. And then one day they meet Fred, Velma, Daphne, however they want, whether it's detention at school or a mystery to solve. I think the interesting thing this time around is that Shaggy and Daphne are the ones who knew each other from the beginning. Are there even any photos with Shaggy and Daphne next to each other? Let's just look up Shaggy Daphne. Okay, oh God, there is some. Did I miss some Shaggy Daphne lore? Gonna have to be filled in on that. But the Scooby-Doo I mainly grew up and was watching almost never had interactions with Shaggy and Daphne. And you think I'm leading that up as a negative. I'm not. I think that's the interesting part about this, is that they're making two characters that you almost never see interact or really have chemistry with each other. Because, you know, in some iterations I have seen, they make Shaggy go with Velma, and they make, obviously, Daphne with Fred. Daphne and Fred's always been a thing, and then you have the pairing of Shaggy and Scooby and so on and so forth. but I think you never think about Shaggy and Daphne being friends or hanging out. So I like that from the start. They're doing something new. They're creating a dynamic that isn't the norm. What? Shagusi. Continuing on. So I like that part of it right there. They're starting off as old friends. They're going to be the ones who know each other from the beginning, right? And then it continues on saying that from there, they're solving this mystery, and then they add a summer camp, which already love that vibe. Friday the 13th, horror vibes. That's always what Scooby-Doo should be. Gateway horror, Courage the Cowardly Dog style, where it's just introducing you into that genre, putting you in situations to keep it creepy. Summer camp, love it. There's a scientific Velma who's in the town that can help them. That fits in line with her character. I like that. And the handsome Fred. That's all you need from him. Handsome. Done. And then the lonely lost Great Dane puppy, which is, of course, Scooby-Doo. Now, the only part here, and my kind of wish for this series, they do mention he witnessed a supernatural murder. And I'm honestly surprised murder is part of the plot. That's a great thing, because that hints towards a slightly more mature vibe, in my opinion. That hints to, like, no, we're going to be seeing some stuff go down, because the usual Scooby-Doo show, it's just people getting scared and running away, and it's always like a real estate scam. It's the theme park was bankrupt, and he was using it for insurance fraud. Mr. Wilkins. That was classic Scooby-Doo, right? Just things like that. There's never the guy trying to kill somebody. It was just scaring them away from their house or this place. But no, someone's going to be murdered. Someone's going to die. And I'm like, all right, already going to a level of matureness, I hope, with this. Let's not take it to Velma level. Let's not take it to live-action Powerpuff Girls level, okay? Unless you cast Daphne as Sydney Sweeney, then I'm going to hear you out. I'm going to hear you out. Okay, let's not go Euphoria style with the Scooby-Doo gang. Let's keep it a little light. Murder, pretty good route to start off in. I do wonder, though, is Scooby going to be CGI? Will Scooby-Doo be talking? Or are they going to have like a trained dog that sometimes is CGI, but most of the time it's just a regular Great Dane? What does a Great Dane puppy look like? I know what a Great Dane looks like, but a puppy Great Dane? Puppy Great Dane. Great Danes are big dogs. Oh, let's search brown. Brown. Oh. So it was going to look something like this. That's little Scooby right there. You could put on the collar, something that nice. I wouldn't mind it. It all depends how they go. I would obviously want the dog to talk, but if that's too weird for the show, too unrealistic, just make sure you give this dog lots of expressions. Better be a very well-trained dog. I want Oscar-worthy performances out of this dog, okay? Because I needs it, okay? So, I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. Obviously, I'm scared it's going to be too Riverdale-y. I'm scared it's going to be too much teen drama vibes. I don't want to see so much of that. I genuinely want them to just create a fun mystery and us to explore it. Like, that's just what I want. If it's too much love triangle BS with like, Daphne likes Fred, but I like Shaggy. We should all just do it at this summer camp. No, there's a murder. He's still drowned in that lake and you're about to go skinny dip in it. What am I watching? You know, that's what I'm afraid of. So let's hope they get it right. Let's do it good. I'm excited for this. Let me know who you want cast in the show. That's also going to be interesting. Honestly, I think you could just look at whatever popular Netflix movie is on right now, and those are going to be the stars. If this was like 5-6 years ago, it'd be Noah Centineo as Fred. It'd be the girl from Kissing Booth as Velma. Jenna Ortega probably is Daphne. Shaggy would be, I don't know, I'm trying to think. Just whoever's the latest Netflix young star. It would have been the Outer Banks cast, basically, you know? Jack Quaid is just too old. This makes it sound like they're teenagers. Like they're pretty young. So I'm expecting people that are like probably 25, 24, but they're in the show, they're going to be like 17, 18 kind of vibe. Riverdale age. Maybe it is someone from Riverdale. It is Greg Berlanti, so, you know. So we'll see. You guys let me know what you decide on there. All right, let's move on now to the next topic. Ooh, Daredevil. So Daredevil We all are watching the show again, Born Again. It's going fantastic. I'm still enjoying rewatching it as it's going along with you guys. I was seeing some mixed reactions on this episode, the bank episode. Oh, one of my favorite episodes. I loved how it was a standalone episode. Usually people would call this a filler episode or a nothing episode because it doesn't do much to drive the plot forward. But I'm honestly like, I wish every episode was like this. This is what I want the TV shows to be. I kind of don't care too much for a big linear story. I kind of would just like 10 episodes of Daredevil doing regular Daredevil saving crime things. This was the bank robbing episode. Let's have an episode where he, like White Tiger, where he's defending him, condense that into one episode, things like that. So I thought that was great, and it really showcased Daredevil's abilities. Well, one thing I think a lot of us are still complaining about is the suit, right? Because the suit don't got them double Ds. Well, right now, as they're filming season 2 of Daredevil Born Again, it looks like in season 2, boys and girls, we getting those double Ds. Oh yeah, baby. Look at this costume. My God. Me playing Wii Sports in my living room in 2011? Nice throw. What were some other things he said? I forget what they said. Home run. Oh, dude, this suit is looking freaking fantastic. It's about time. That's one thing we knew was going to be happening whenever he officially more joined along the MCU. I know he was always technically part of it with the older seasons, but since Kevin Feige didn't have a direct hand in it, it didn't seem like it, and now it does. And what's one thing Kevin Feige and the MCU love to do? 10 costume changes per movie, per season. So we knew something like this was happening, and they're adding the double D. So we obviously don't know right now the context of it, and this isn't a costume that shows up at the end of the season. I have seen all 9 episodes, and I'll just say Daredevil wears the same costume the entire time. So there's not a costume change, and the next couple episodes coming, so take that for what you will. But it looks like at some point in season 2, which I wouldn't be surprised if this is the last episode, because that's what they love to do, is to earn their costume emblems. But I just think what a big difference 2 Ds on the chest make. Like, that's just something that was so missing in the red suit. And, well, let me just get that out of the way. I like this black suit. It is fantastic. It is awesome looking, perfectly well designed, and the Ds complement it so well. However, I do just hope it's a temporary thing, and that after that, he puts double Ds on the red suit. And I want an all red suit. I like the current red suit in the season we have right now, but I want to get rid of some of those black accents. Replace those with darker red accents and just give us a fully red suit. I just want the full red suit. Okay, some other things to note, though, about this this costume that I've been noticing that I don't see a lot of people bring up. To me, no lie, it honestly looks like it's just his red suit spray painted black. And I don't even mean like that's what they did in the wardrobe department. I'm thinking that's going to be the context in season 2. Because if you look at all these little red spots, this isn't blood. This is just his red costume, and it's been spray painted black. So, I mean, it looks like he just took out a stencil of 2 Ds and then just went. Psst. I think that's exactly what he's going to do. I want to know the context of why, because I don't know if you know this about Daredevil. It's kind of a well-known secret. He's blind. He can't see. So what about that made him go, I need to be dark, and I need to put some D's on my chest. Let's get her done. You know, like I do wonder what I wonder if this is Frank Castle's work. You know, maybe he's still teaming up with him in season 2, and he's like, Red, I'm tired of calling you Red. I want to call you Black with 2 D's. Well, that's very specific, Frank, but I guess if that's what you want. How can you see into my... That's the song I want playing when he's spray painting the suit black. Bring back Evanescence and play that song. Wake me up inside. I can't wake up. Say That's exactly the song that needs to play. If it doesn't, I'm giving that next season. So, dude, look at this photo. My God, dude, I think I just gained 10% more testosterone looking at this photo, guys. I don't need to hit the gym this week. I just got my pump from this photo. Dude, this isn't even an official photo. This is a guy just watching behind the scenes, taking a snapshot. It's awesome. So, someone said aura farming. Hey, we see the fit, Daredevil. We know you can't see it. But yeah, Chris said, my brain, Chris. God, this is what you get in 3C Live, okay? I just say what I think. Say what I think. 3 jokes out of 10 are going to land, but you got to let me do the other 7. It's just how the stream goes. So no, I love it. I can't wait to see that. And if Frank Castle, because we haven't seen photos of him, dude, look at all these photos. If Frank Castle ends up coming back for season 2, which I don't know if it's been confirmed or not. We know he's getting his own Marvel special. Then let's just give him those white accents, you know, the white belt, the white buckles and whatnot, the white boots. Even if you make them dirty and scruffy, just spray paint those. So yeah, I like it, but like I said, at the end of the day, I still hope it's not the permanent suit. Yes, the black is badass and cool, but Daredevil at the end of the day should have a nice red fire suit with those double Ds. But yeah, this costume is great. This costume is awesome. I really like it. It just looks so perfect. So great. Someone said Unc 40, by the way. Stop it. Don't remind me. Don't say that. Let me know what you guys think about the costume and whether you're happy with it. And would you like this to be the permanent suit? Because I will say, as a big Spider-Man fan, I would like the Tom Holland suit to be the red and black one. Red and black Spider-Man suit. That's the one I'm honestly like, dude, I know the red and blue is his classic look. I like this costume the most, and I'd rather that be his permanent suit if I'm being honest. But hey, so maybe someone out there is like, nah, let's keep the black and a suit going and forget the red suit. Curious to hear what you guys think. Alrighty then. What is our next topic here? Superman. All right. So interesting things going on in the Superman world. I guess I maybe have to preface this by slight spoiler, although from what I'm being told, it's basically a cameo reveal, but I'm told this cameo is literally like one of the first things you see when the movie starts. It's literally as soon as the movie goes, he's one of the first faces you'll see. So I'll leave it up to you, but it's also something that's being spread like wildfire, so you might be seeing it. I'll start off with talking about the test screenings. So again, we're getting reports that there were test screenings, and it does seem like it's accurate. There are supposedly even plot leaks. I'm not touching on that. I don't want to get into that. I don't want to look at it because I still want Superman mainly to surprise me and to look forward to it. We've been waited so long for a Superman movie. So if there are major plot leaks, not talking about those, not getting into that. I'm just going to talk about this person that got revealed that I don't think is the biggest cameo of the movie. I think it's just one of possible other cameos. So anyways, one thing that was being talked about. Oh, and just to say, those test screenings, pretty positive. All the reports are saying that it's positive. It's great. Obviously, though, you still have to take that with a grain of salt. Let's not forget when The Flash was coming out in test screenings, everybody was saying it was the greatest comic book movie, that it was amazing, it was phenomenal, it was going to save DC. And what ended up happening? If you end up liking The Flash, you get criticized for it. I still really like The Flash. Granted, it's not the phenomenal, most amazing thing. I thought it was a pretty fun movie, all drama aside. But there's a lot of people that's like, that movie was garbage, and you garbage for liking it. So, again, take it with a grain of salt. But aside from those test screening reports, okay. What we had here is basically a scooper got a little petty, got a little angry, got a little upset. So we had here scooper that has given us a lot of right information in the past. Viewer Annan decided, you know what? I'm just going to spoil who's playing the dad in Superman. So here is what happened. He was having a fight online on Reddit, which is always a great place to be. You guys see what my Reddit ends up looking like. And he said here, he was being accused of not really knowing his information, not being a scooper. And he said, you mean like when I told people Wonder Woman 1984 wasn't nearly as good as they were led to believe? Winky face. Either way, you're so close to realizing why I tell people test screening reports are meaningless. Jor-El is Bradley Cooper. There you go. You got something out of me because I'm too defensive when people call me a liar. Some Redditor called this scooper a liar, and he said, all right, I'm spoiling it. I'm spoiling it. You don't believe me? I'm going to spoil it, and I'm going to ruin it for everybody. And now we know the thing we've been speculating on and wondering. Bradley Cooper gonna play Superman's daddy from Krypton. And that's why I was saying it said that he's also literally like one of the first things you see when the movie opens, because I'm assuming they're doing the thing where, Krypton's about to blow up and then they're sending their baby to Earth. And we're gonna see that. Okay. Couple of things about this, which is what I'll be talking about here, is there had been people speculating who is gonna play Jor-El, because Jor-El in the past couple of movies is kind of a big deal. It started off with Marlon Brando, who, if you don't know, was one of the biggest actors in the world. The Godfather. I can't do a Godfather impression. You come to me, Superman, in my Kryptonian ship, and you want to know the history of our people? Terrible Marlon Brando, but I tried. And dude was literally on set for like a day and was paid like the most money out of that movie. And it just kind of cemented, big deal. Jor-El, whoever you cast, Russell Crowe, Oscar-winning actor, another big name, big deal. Now, the thing James Gunn was letting us know ahead of time is he thinks these faces aren't the faces of a first-time father. These look like the faces of a very aged person, maybe even a grandpappy. And so he didn't think that was the right look for his Jor-El. He wanted to go with someone younger, and he decided to go with Bradley Cooper, kind of being similar in age to David Cornsweet, or at least they'll make him look that way whenever they come to face in the Fortress of Solitude and whatnot. I think this is a good choice. I have no problem with that. I like it. Bradley Cooper's a good actor. He's got a relationship with James Gunn as being the voice of Rocket Raccoon, so I'm assuming that's where that came in. I just think maybe this is a little underwhelming because people were speculating names like Tom Cruise or like Leonardo DiCaprio. And I was just like, that would be huge. That would be like an our modern version of a Jor-El played by Marlon Brando. A Tom Cruise, Leonardo DiCaprio. Bradley Cooper is still a decent pick. Again, I don't think it's that level, but it's a decent pick, and I'm happy with it, and I'm fine. I guess it's just more now the backlash of all this, because now you're seeing a lot of people who are mad about the Superman. I was about to search up Superman leak and spoilers, but since plot details are out there, that's probably not the best way. And well, you just had a lot of fans talking about how pissed they are that just because a scooper was just feeling a little petty and insecure, he decided, I'm gonna spoil it. Screw it. I'm gonna just tell everybody. And this was apparently known under the scoopers. If we want to believe My Time to Shine Hello, who's recently gotten a lot of stuff right, especially when it came to Shrek, they were talking about here. Wait, Bradley Cooper leaked after I made a promise not to reveal it. So apparently a lot of these scoopers knew it, but they were like, hey, James Gunn said it's a secret. It's a kind of a thing, so we won't touch that. This guy just said, no, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. It is kind of interesting, and I'm no better. I'm not trying to put myself in a higher position. I'm no better because I'm talking about it now. I'm making content about it. But that's also because I'm like, it's spreading like wildfire. Everybody's seeing it. If I ignore it, it's just be no points. Might as well just talk about it. And if you're here, it's because you want to be up to date. But like I said, I'm not going to talk about any huge spoilers about the movie or plot details coming out there. The only other thing I did see that I just don't know whether to believe or not was Daniel RPK did make this kind of like statement about the plot of the movie, which I found slightly interesting. Let me see if I can find it. He was basically saying that there was no real plot to the movie. I can't find it here, so let me just pull it up on my phone. Let's just admire David Cornsweet and his beefy biceps. Not as big as my biceps, but still pretty bisiping. I'm sending it right now to my computer, and I'll pull it up. All right, good stuff. Open with preview. Let's get this removed. Stop screen share, and then share this photo. Okay, so this is kind of what he said. I'm assuming this is his Discord, and all that. But he just basically say, can't reveal any spoilers yet, but we'll say one thing. It's not going to be for everyone. Movie is like a series of shorts, very episodic, no real plot. Yeah, it's just Superman facing one challenge after another. That's interesting. I don't know how to take that or even really kind of what that means, but I kind of doubt the Superman movie has no plot. I've been able to kind of decipher what the movie is going to be about, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But like the plot I'm getting, because so far James Gunn has said that Superman is going to be um Superman dealing in a world of kindness. When let's see what he said. We can expect a Superman who is about kindness, love, and compassion, while also being a very strong character. He's the best of humanity, even though he is an alien from outer space. He basically was, and we know the reverse Kingdom Come angle, where it's like Superman kind of teaching other superheroes who have become kind of like celebrity, kind of like the boys, abusing their look and power, and Superman coming in and being like, this is how we do things. This is how it is. And that's why we see him having trouble with other superheroes like Green Lantern and Hawkgirl when he's about to go into that room, and they're going to give him a stern talking to, because they're like, hey, come on, man, this is not how we handle things. You can't do that. But that's because Superman believes in doing the right thing as opposed to doing the thing that with sponsorships and whatnot. So I don't know if I believe that plot rumor that it's just a series of random things happening after another and there's no real plot. Seems like the plot is how to be a superhero, like how to be a superhero, or really how to present yourself to the world and be a symbol of hope and whatnot. That's what I mean, that's what I'm taking for. But hey, we'll see what happens at the end of the day, though. Really interesting stuff. I'm, like I said, happy with Bradley Cooper as Jor-El. I think that'll be cool, and I can't wait to see the Kryptonian scenes when that happens and goes down. I'm definitely going to compare it to the Zack Snyder stuff, because I thought, other than the ship penises Zack Snyder threw in there, y'all remember them? Y'all remember the ship penises? Man of Steel pods. Huh. I'm going to be comparing that Kryptonian technology to Zack Snyder's. And again, this isn't even hate to Zack Snyder, because I actually really like Man of Steel. I'm a defender of it. But that was interesting when I saw that the first time. And I was like, those are penises. Kryptonians. All right, cool. That's how we do it. Don't want to know what the portal to the Phantom Zone looks like. Those ships going into the Phantom Zone, coming out. All right, you get it. Let's move on now before I get canceled. All right, let's talk about some Doomsday. Okay, so it's been a nice week for Avengers Doomsday fans, because we got the announcement of who's going to show up in this movie. Lovely photo here, thanks to Forbes. So let me just pull that up here. Or maybe I think there's someone on Twitter that already has it up there. Doomsday cast. That way we can get a good look at these photos and then talk about it. So I obviously am pretty happy with the cast so far. I said it right before it came out. I remember we would always be theorizing and thinking, who's going to be in the movie? Who's not going to be in it? And I was always like, the Avengers lineup is probably going to look very mid. I just don't think they have that many interesting characters. And boy, was I proven wrong, because this does not look like one mid cast. This is very exciting, in my opinion, for a couple of reasons. But ever since the cast has been revealed, it has led to a lot of talk and speculation about something interesting's going on here. There was way more X-Men characters revealed than I was expecting. Like Ian McKellen, Alan Cumming, Rebecca Romaine, James Marsden. And it really led people to go, they're just going to do Avengers versus X-Men, aren't they? They're going to do Avengers versus X-Men. And I have a couple of thoughts about that, because it does really seem that way. There is a large X-Men cast. So it seems like the reason we're getting that X-Men cast is because we now know the post-credit scene that is actually the most important. I can't think of any other post-credit scene in the past phase that is more important than the one for the Marvels. The Marvels literally set us up that we have a character from our Earth who is now on an Earth where X-Men exists. Beast. That's where I'm assuming all these other X-Men characters are from. Patrick Stewart, Ian McKellen, Alan Cumming, all these X-Men that they announced, Gambit included, they are connected to this X-Men's universe. So this is why this Gambit might not even be from the Deadpool and Wolverine movie. And it also gives Channing Tatum a chance to play his Gambit differently. I know we love the way he played it there. Very funny, but he served the purpose in Deadpool and Wolverine of being a funny kind of, dumbed down version of Gambit. I always said, I like Gambit and what he did in Deadpool and Wolverine. Guarantee you, though, if he did that in a solo movie, people would hate it. People would be calling it like early 2000s cheesy, because it would be too dumb. Hearing Gambit say things like, came out of my daddy's balls. It works in a Deadpool movie. I don't know if that's really the vibe and tone you wanted in his solo film. I know that's a controversial hot take, but this lets Channing Tatum play it seriously. Lets it play it maybe more straightforward to what a traditional Gambit would have been like in this movie, because he's a variant. He's from a different version, but it's still that actor playing it, right? So there's that. He could be, the X-Men could be from this universe. And obviously, if we have people from another universe with superpowers coming in wanting her, could be some conflict there, could be some anger. That could be the start of it. I go back to my theories, going back to Multiverse of Madness. I've talked about this in the past, but theory gets kind of ruined a little bit with Professor Stewart still being alive and in this movie. I said they have the perfect setup now for whatever this universe is to want to just destroy ours. Because of us multiverse hopping, we brought in someone that killed the strongest, most powerful members of their universe. Captain Carter, Reed Richards, Black Bolt, Monica Rambeau of that universe, or whatever her name was. Wanda came in and just wiped them all out. The Illuminati. You tell me the people that are connected to them, the rest of the Fantastic Four, the rest of the X-Men, Patrick Stewart, they're not going to be pissed and want some revenge or want some answers? That's where I think they set up the perfect opportunity to like have us have Avengers versus X-Men. And you also have to remember the story of Doomsday or Secret Wars is that Doom creates Battle World, where it's fragments and pieces of all these other places connected into one. And the Beyonder in the earlier series is just like, all right, fight it out, and whoever wins, you keep your Earth. Or in the other versions with the Incursions, two planets about to collide into each other. I believe it's Tony Stark who comes to the conclusion, the only way for us not to both die is that planet got to die. So I know it's messed up, but it's either them or us. And that's kind of what makes them fight each other. Is it's either we both die or only one planet dies and we move forward, kind of causing this thing. My only thing to go against that is, then why wouldn't you just call the movie Avengers versus X-Men? Don't you think that would be such a bigger movie than Avengers Doomsday? I get Robert Downey Jr. coming back and him being a huge pull of that movie. And, you know, it's Iron Man, Tony Stark or whatever for a lot of general audiences coming back in finally after Endgame. But I think if you name this movie Avengers versus X-Men, you'd be seeing the buckets of money rolling. And for all we know, they could still rename it. They've done that before. Serpent Society, granted, they did it right away, but who's to say 6 months, a year from now, they were like, you know, Doomsday isn't working out. How about we Avengers versus X-Men? I don't know. I think that'd be cool if they did that. And that would be awesome to see. They just definitely have not been building up to that. And maybe that's just a title they want to save for when they eventually do the MCU X-Men. Because also, these cast of characters, happy they're coming. Definitely love it. But it's multiverse stuff. This is not going to be our permanent Cyclops, our permanent Mystique for the MCU. Whenever Secret Wars is done and the MCU finally starts doing their version of the X-Men, it's not going to be any of these actors. I don't even think it'll be Wolverine. I know people, he joked like, till he's 90. They're going to cast a new Wolverine and a new cast. And then once they do a movie or two with them, they'll maybe want to do the Avengers versus X-Men movie without a whole multiverse inclusion, right? That could be the next Avenger thing going on, because I think they're going to focus on the mutant saga there. But okay, so that could be happening. We'll see what it comes. But it is interesting that there's multiple options from where these X-Men could be from. They could be from the Monica Rambeau universe. They could be from the Illuminati world. They could be from the 97 X-Men. That's a real possibility, just to create some good cohesion with Disney Plus. They could just say, oh, these are the characters from X-Men 97, but in live action. Why not? They could honestly just do that. We'll see what happens, though. I'm very excited, and I'm loving it. All I know is Cyclops getting that 90s suit. And woo! You thought I put on other suits too much? Never taking off that Cyclops suit. You're going to see me doing updates on the Barney movie wearing the Cyclops suit. Such a good time. Such a good time. So you guys let me know about that. What you think they are building to Avengers versus X-Men? Maybe they're saving that for a later Avenger movie when all this multiverse stuff is done and it's the MCU X-Men. Okay, next thing we got to talk about here, and it's our final topic, is Spider-Man. Because one of the big things when the Avengers Doomsday cast was announced was the absence of Spider-Man. Now, yes, there was an article that came out after the Doomsday cast was announced that said, hey, this isn't all the cast members. This is actually only like half of the cast members for Avengers Doomsday. We're going to announce the other cast members one day. We just got to build those chairs. We ran out of chair material, but best believe we coming back with that chair live stream. Would be so funny if they do the chair live stream again. But obviously Tom Holland was missing, and I wasn't worried about it. I was like, okay, they didn't show Tom, but bro's going to be in the movie. Like, he's the biggest Avenger they got now. That unfortunately Chadwick Boseman isn't here. You still haven't confirmed if Chris Evans. You have Robert Downey Jr., but he's on the bad side now. Tom Holland is your man. You're going to want to put him in there. Well, we getting some reports that he might not be in Doomsday at all, and I think that is crazy if it's true. So these reports are coming in from, let's see here, from Jeff Snyder, who, again, not a source I love to use, but they have been proven right a lot. And let me see if I can get the exact one. Probably Spider-Man News has it. But he reported why Spider-Man will not be part of the movie. Let me see if I can get to it here. Spider-Man. Okay, let me just get to it. That's why Spider-Man not. I should really bookmark these tweets, but I do not. I do not indeed. Where is it, buddy? Come on. I know he had it. I know he had it. Not in Doomsday. I don't want to see Blu-ray Angels video. I know this is taking way longer than it should, guys. Just give me 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Well, not 2 seconds. More than 2 seconds, but it'll be there. It's probably because I kept a Spider-Man Doomsday same time. This will be the way I get it. This will be the way I get it. I know it is. Oh my God, it still did not show up. Somebody want to type? Okay, there we go. Finally. Sorry about that, guys. Cut that out in the Clips channel. We got it. All right. He's letting us know that Spider-Man 4 will reportedly take place during the events of Avengers Doomsday. Due to this, Tom Holland will reportedly not appear in Avengers Doomsday. Okay. So again, take it with a grain of salt, but this is a source that whether you like the person or not, they have a track record of being right, but they've also been wrong. So this could end up not happening, but this is interesting if it ends up becoming true because, okay, a couple of reasons we thought for sure Tom Holland would be in the movie is one, because of his star power and he's Spider-Man. People love seeing Spider-Man in an Avenger movie. They'll go just for him. I know I will. But two, the villain of this movie has the face of Mr. Stark. His mentor, someone that they've so heavily connected to his version of Spider-Man. Don't you want that payoff? Don't you want that screen time? Don't you want that kind of tension there where he's going to look at him and go, is that Mr. Stark? Like, that just writes itself. So it's interesting. So they're not going to be implementing that into Doomsday, and that's something they'll save for Secret Wars. And we for sure he's got to be in Secret Wars. Ain't no way he's not in Secret Wars, right? Because we know they're going to want to recreate the famous cover of Spider-Man in Secret Wars. I 100% bet we're getting a what the heck just happened? I typed in something that didn't even show up. Spider-Man Secret Wars cover. This cover right here. It's one of the most famous covers of Spider-Man, and it's when he gets the black symbiote. And that's kind of what we're leading to in the next couple of movies with that post-credit scene of Tom Hardy leaving it there. We're going to get this in Secret Wars, right? So he'll probably then have that interaction with Stark and Stark as Doomsday or whatever the variant is and whatnot. But if he really is not, and maybe they're not going to play up on that fact, you know, that like, hey, he looks like Tony. That makes me sad because I love Tony and I don't want to punch a face that looks like Tony. Is there a possibility for Doomsday they don't play on that everyone just pretends Doom doesn't look like Tony? Is that a thing that could actually happen in this movie, and would that be the right way to go? I don't know, because another face that was notably missing from those chairs was Don Cheadle, War Machine. I love War Machine also, and I feel he's severely underused in the Marvel movies, and I'm kind of thinking Armor Wars is canceled. We have not heard a peep about Armor Wars, his solo show that turned into a movie. But after, unfortunately, Captain America Brave New World not performing the way they wanted to, and there was a report that Disney canceled some projects secretly, but they're not going to announce which ones. I'm thinking Armor Wars was one of those things that's not going to happen now. And last we saw Don Cheadle's War Machine, he was a Skrull that was in a cocoon for like who knows how long. We're not going to address that. Is that going to be like a 1-second scene in Doomsday or Secret Wars where he comes into the meeting and he's like, "Hey, where you been?" Eh, I was faked as a scroll for a little bit, but I'm here now. It's going to be an MCU joke. He's like, "I was just a scroll for a little bit." Crazy. Y'all got Chinese? It's gonna be something. That's his whole closure character development of him being a scroll for so long. But it's like that too. He's a character that had very close relation, very huge, deep connection to Tony. When he sees Doomsday and the mask comes off, are they just gonna pretend he doesn't look familiar at all? What an ugly man, you know? Curious. That'll be a pretty interesting choice of Marvel to do that. But as far as this goes, okay. Putting aside how I think that's a bad move for Doomsday, on the opposite end, this is great news, I think, for Spider-Man 4, and I'll tell you why. If this happens during Doomsday, then we got an Ant-Man the Wasp situation in my hands. We got an Ant-Man and the Wasp situation. You guys remember Ant-Man the Wasp? This was technically a movie that was happening during the events of Infinity War. Whether it was exactly at the same time or like as soon as that movie ended, then the events of Infinity War happened, whatever. For all intents and purposes, I think you could say Ant-Man the Wasp happened during Avengers Infinity War because we all remember that post-credit scene is they're testing something out. Ant-Man goes into the quantum realm and then his loved ones snap and he's stuck there for 5 minutes, but it was 5 years, right? That then is how we get our street level Spider-Man movie we've been begging for. Because I'm thinking at the end of Doomsday is when we have Battle World, is when every universe is just combined and chunked up and put onto one planet, and we have multiverse sections of everywhere. And that's why we were worried about Spider-Man 4, because if Spider-Man 4 takes place, after Doomsday, then that means it would have to take place on Battle World, where the multiverse is going on. And that would be how they could bring back Toby and Andrew, because all their universes are somehow mushed together and they're all living in the same New York and all that stuff. But if the movie now happens during Doomsday, you can just have a street level story, a regular simple Spider-Man thing, and then your post-credit scene is whatever the aftermath of Doomsday is, whether Battle World occurs, New York gets crumbled up, and then Toby and Andrew show up next to him. That'd be a pretty crazy post-credit scene. Is Tom's just hanging out in his apartment reading, something shakes, happens, and then Andrew and Toby show up right there, and he's like, "What are you guys doing here?" Cut. You know, something like that. So that's why I think someone just says Spider-Man 4 gonna be set in Goon World. I hate looking at the chat when I'm trying to deliver the news because what are y'all saying? But, so that's where I look at it. That's why I think it's interesting. Yes, it makes me sad for Doomsday, but in a weird way, it makes me excited for Spider-Man 4 because that gives us the opportunity for the street level story because it means it could happen before the world, crumbles up or whatever happens that then sets up Secret Wars, right? The last Spider-Man thing that is going around is, again, the same source in that same article was bringing up the villain of the movie, and he was hearing that the villain for Spider-Man 4 is going to be the Chameleon. So let me see if I can bring up that real quick. I don't know how to spell chameleon. Chameleon? That is not how you spell chameleon. How do you spell chameleon? Sorry, chat. Let me look up chameleon. Ah, yes, of course. That's how you spell chameleon. That's very chameleon-y of them. If you think about it, I spelled chameleon the chameleon way. All right. Chameleon will reportedly be the main villain for Spider-Man 4. Now, he made some additional comments about this to some people. Let me get onto those because we had heard from that same source, Jeff Snyder. He was saying that the main villain would be a female, that they're looking for a female. In fact, that they already casted her and she's been part of the movie, and we're just waiting for Sony to announce it. CinemaCon coming next week. That's definitely where they're probably going to announce updates on Spider-Man and Beyond the Spider-Verse. And so let me go here where Jeff Snyder said this because it gives you some context about how this version of Chameleon will work. Because it said that this version of Chameleon might be a girl, might be a female. So they might gender swap Chameleon. Let me see if I can get to the exact quote he did. Because somebody was questioning about why would it be Chameleon? That wouldn't work out or whatnot. Let me see here. Okay. So we had Daniel RPK, one scooper who hadn't heard this. So as him being a scooper, he was like, I don't think this is real. He said, I don't know if it's true, but if Chameleon is the villain for Spider-Man 4, that would be awful. He's a lame villain. Don't agree with that. Chameleon is a pretty cool villain and a serious downgrade from Green Goblin. I will say probably a downgrade from Green Goblin, but still. And then this is where Jeff kind of confirmed what he had been hearing about this version of Chameleon, saying, who said it's a he? What if the villain is someone else? And then revealed at the end to be the Chameleon. Isn't that the Chameleon's whole deal? I hope Chameleon F's with Spider-Man the whole movie, pretending to be other characters. Head games are more interesting than brute force. Okay. So this makes it more interesting to me. So it looks like if what Jeff is saying is true and what he's hearing about this movie is that we're actually going to be told the villain is, I don't know, Black Cat, or the villain is Silver Sable, somebody like that, right? Maybe even friggin' Dr. Octopus or or the Rhino. But then at the end of the movie, or maybe halfway through it, it'll be revealed, actually, I'm not the Rhino. It's me, the chameleon with a vagina. And then it's like, whoa, what the heck? It kind of reminds me of the ending of the first Arkham game, where, you know, or is it the first Arkham game? It's one of the Arkham games where you think you're following the Joker, you're fighting the Joker, and then it's revealed it was Clayface the whole time, right? Or it was Clayface, at least in that instance, right? That could be interesting, but I just don't know how well that would work. Because the Chameleon, the last we saw this boy, was in Kraven the Hunter. Granted, he got his classic look, and it's been widely known that when Sony uses a character, I kind of actually don't mind that look. That's actually spot on what you want Chameleon to look. It was just funny, the context and the way it was shown, and how 2 seconds after this, he turns into little Aaron Taylor Johnson. It's like, I'm the Chameleon, a master of disguise. I can turn into you, Aaron Taylor Johnson. But I'm 2 feet shorter. Perfect disguise. That was the funniest part of that. Is he's like, I could disguise into anybody now. I'm you, 2 feet shorter. But whenever Sony uses a character in their solo movie, then the MCU almost isn't allowed to touch that character because Sony is using them now. If you don't remember, before the idea of No Way Home, John Watts and Tom Holland had pitched an idea where Kraven the Hunter was going to be the main villain for their Spider-Man 3, where Kraven, after learning Peter Parker's identity, goes to New York to hunt him down, and it's that last hunt type of story. But Sony's like, we got a Kraven movie that's going to make billions of dollars, so you can't do that. Oh, Kraven didn't make $1 billion. Oh. So maybe because Kraven was a failure and not a lot of people saw it, Sony's like, all right, you could take the Chameleon because we just used up Chameleon, Rhino, Venom. We stole Vulture from you, MCU. I don't think we're allowed to call dibs on these guys anymore. You have them, Kevin Feige. So we'll see what ends up happening. It's just the funny thing that literally every week we hear a brand new story, a brand new character, a brand new plot. We have no idea what Spider-Man 4 is about. And it'd be so funny if none of these stories end up becoming true. All we know is Sadie Sink in the movie. Who's she playing? Jean Grey, May Parker, MJ? No sabemos. We don't know. So you guys let me know your thoughts on that and what you think of the latest rumor. I'm more interested to hear your thoughts, though, on do you think Spider-Man 4 could be set during Doomsday? Because that seems slightly plausible to me. Alrighty then. Well, that was our main topics. So right before we go into the viewer chat questions, I know the chat will start spamming Reddit, although I instantly regret whenever I get on that Reddit, but let's just do it. Let's just see it. Oh, it's happening right now. Well, not happening right now. It's going to start next week. So people are already getting to the Caesar's Palace Hotel. We got our first poster for Wicked for Good. And I think Nobody's poster was also revealed. I don't know if you guys have that here in the chat, but we got that. We got some link art. 3C hiding under the table, moving the chair. Yeah, that's literally, I was under the chair just. Good stuff. Good stuff. I was live in the chat for Doomsday. saying Chris should be in the film. Oh, 3C Films should be cast in the film. Thank you. I'm sure Kevin Feige saw that after the 100,000 other names. Oh, that would be peak. That would be even more peak. That is the peakest. I like what you did with the red lights too. 3C. Hey, my Wall-E 2 plot was peak. I'm glad for those of you who saw the vision. I'm glad. Bro, guess who spawned in my Kroger? He tried to sell me Flint and Steel. Flint and Steel. What is that? Poppy? You guys got to let me know in the chat what Minecraft products you want me to get for the video. Because there's way more than I thought. There's like cereal that turns milk green. Already got my tummy a turning, let me tell you that. Died from joy. Why did you guys give me a BBL? Let this photo die. Look at this perfect muscular form, though. That's very good. I hate this photo. I hate it so much. 3C Films, I need you to distract Doom. Giancarlo Esposito. Remember when Chris did a review with Obama? What movie did we review? Over the Hedge 2. Over the Hedge. Yeah, I already pre-ordered this, and we'll see which one ends up, if it ends up fitting. Ah! I hate this Reddit. I'm never coming back to it. Yeah, I have the caps lock on. Sorry. Does that bother you, some of you guys? I have the cap locks on? Because as a kid, I guess you could just rough around my body, and I would just love it. Just, oh, yeah. But if they don't feel good anymore, and I just genuinely feel like I'm gonna, oh. I'm banning videos from the Reddit. Reddit, no videos. And building shit. Hey, you guys don't like my singing. I'm not gonna let you hear someone else singing. Oh yeah, I saw this. Nick Offerman, or somebody in the Super Mario, the showrunner of The Last of Us was like, Nick Offerman should be Wario. I fully believe when Super Mario 2 comes, they're bringing in Wario and Waluigi. They're for sure, and they're gonna be like multiverse counterparts of Mario and Luigi. Definitely. Yeah, this is guys, it's over. It's over for us. We're done with this page. And it really showcased Daredevil's abilities. Well, one thing I think a lot of us are still complaining about is the suit, right? Because the suit don't got them. Okay, thank you for that. We're done with that. We're gonna answer now some super chatty questions and act like we didn't see any of that nonsense. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. All right, let's just move on here. Just trying to put up my regular window. Okay, good stuff. All right, let's get in to the chatty chat questions and see what you lovely peeps are wanting to discuss here today. All right, here we go. Do you think there will be a part 2 stream soon? If you're talking about the horror movie stream, I would like it. I think it was a kind of an interesting horror movie. I would have liked it to have a bigger budget, but I love the premise of it. I think it's by the same people who did Terrifier. Not the director, Damien Leone, but a lot of the same producers, and I think the writers, and maybe David Howard Thornton was one of the killers in this, but it was a cool idea. It was basically like a contest of killers on like the dark web. They live stream a show where the goal is to just kill as many people and do it in creative ways, and they earn points, and someone wins at the end. And they just go after random people who are in this hotel. And there's a lot of cameos of famous like horror people in different movies. It was a fun little watch. Nothing like super over the moon fantastic, but it was fun, and you could see the potential for sequels if they do it. But as far as I know, I haven't heard anything. DJ Clef Lurker, thoughts on Win or Lose? Fantastic. I love it. Pixar, 2 thumbs up. No, yeah, the quality on this is way better than the Monsters Inc. show like I was talking about, and my lady's really been enjoying it too, so thank you for constantly recommending it. It's even gotten me a little teary-eyed at some points. Hate that they got rid of that one episode, though. I love movies says, sucks that Marvel low-key spoiled Thunderbolts. Yeah, we'll see, though. We'll see what happens. I think it'd be so funny if Taskmaster doesn't die. Because that's also like the for sure thing. If we're all thinking is Taskmaster's dead. And I honestly don't want her to die. Because Taskmaster's powers are cool. You can mimic anyone else's ability and fights. Well, not ability, but their fight style. That's a pretty cool ability. But they're not using it to their advantage. I do wonder how the Thunderbolts play into Doomsday. I think someone here asked a good question we'll get into in a sec. Someone asked me, and I'll answer it when it gets to it. Who do I think will die in Doomsday from the cast? And that's a pretty interesting question. 3C lore on weird things to happen in a theater. I've only ever mentioned the time I sat there and some guy just put up his feet right next to me on his chair. Did not like that. Did not like that. I also did not like one time I was sitting and the person behind me put up their feet on the chair. It was a lady. Didn't make it better. And she's shoes on. And I'm just like, girl, you walk into places and stuff like that and your feet are right behind me. Get them off. Get them off. I always like think in my head, like, I'm going to say something. I'm going to start something. I wish they would. But as soon as I speak, I it's all right. You can put your shoes back on. So yeah. 3 Point Flash says 3C. My Insta story. Oh, I saw your Insta story and made me very happy. Thanks. Yeah. If anyone ever shares my stuff on their story, you can guarantee you're gonna get a heart from me. That's my incentive. Get a heart from 3C. Share my videos on your story. I saw The Monkey while I was in Florida, and sadly, I thought it was mid. I wish I liked it more, but oh well. I don't blame you, man. I really liked the first half, and even some of the humor was working for me. Then it just got a little overly silly. The story got kind of just all over the place, and I like that some people loved it, but it wasn't for me all the way. But I did like a good chunk of it. Logan, CinemaCon predictions. I definitely think we're getting Spider-Man talk from Sony. Sony's definitely going to give us that. We know we're getting some FNAF news from them in Universal. Warner Bros. Is going to talk about Superman, maybe show a clip or two. Probably now they'll reveal Bradley Cooper as Jor-El since it's leaking right now. As far as I'd love for Lionsgate, since they're going to be there, to like tell us what's going on with the Saw franchise. Like, come on, man, what's going on there? Leprechaun too, but I highly doubt the Leprechaun one. Other than that, though, we could see, man. There's also things they've announced that sometimes don't end up happening. El Muerto. Ain't no El Muerto in my Blu-ray collection. Also, I was just thinking about this too. There was this hilarious movie, or the movie sounded hilarious, with I'm going to take off caps lock. Keanu Reeves and Aziz Ansari. It's a movie called Good Fortune. Does it have a release date yet? It says October of this year. Okay, good. So it is coming out. But they revealed the trailer and stuff for this at CinemaCon, and it sounded great. The premise was Keanu Reeves and Aziz Ansari. Well, one of them. Well, okay, Keanu Reeves plays an angel, and it's a story where he wants to teach a rich guy, a poor guy, that becoming rich will not solve your problems and make your life better. So he switches the poor guy with the rich guy just to show him. But turns out the poor guy's like, nah, I'm not going back to being poor. I'm staying here. And now the angel has to figure out a way to convince the poor guy that he needs to give the rich guy his life back. And so it sounded like a really funny movie, and it's supposed to be like an R-rated, very raunchy, going back to the days of like Superbad, Step Brothers, trying to, not where they don't care if they offend anyone or not. I was like, where is this movie? They talked about it at CinemaCon. I'm like, we still did not see it. And that was a whole year now. But now we know October of this year. So hopefully we get that movie. Just a friendly reminder for the chat not to be spamming. Thank you. Yeah, no spamming. I got my mod. You free to put them on timeout if they spamming, man. I got my tickets for the Minecraft movie on April 6th. I cannot wait to watch Peak. As Steve once said, big old red ones and flint and steel. Oh, dude. I know people are going to think it's like I'm thinking that movie's going to be very well liked. I don't know. I think people are going to like it. I think y'all would be surprised. We'll see, though. It could end up being horrible. Ryan Donnell says, hey, Chris, just wanted to let you know in November, the actors of Art the Clown and for the Terrifier is coming to Dublin, Ireland. It's a new thing they did this year. Oh, that's cool for you, man. They're coming here in Texas, I believe in May. And so at Texas Frightmare, it's a little horror convention. It's like a big horror convention they have here in Texas. Art the Clown's going to be there in his costume, and I want to get a picture with him. Also, what's his name? Kane Harder is who plays Jason is gonna be in his Jason X outfit, and I'm gonna take a picture with him. I'm a Jason XXXX me. I like Jason X. That's a fun movie. Daniel Phillips says, which heroes from Doomsday cast do you think will die? There we go. We got to that question. Very cool question. Glad you asked it. So let me pull up the Doomsday cast of people we have so far. I'm going to pick 5 people. I think 5 is a realistic number because no way all these fools come back for whatchamacallit, for Secret Wars. Some of these unfortunate guys have to die, right? So looking at it here, the cast of characters, I'm going to say most of the Thunderbolts. I know that's weird because they survive Thunderbolts, right? I'm thinking they're dying, especially if the rumors or the theories are true that Thunderbolts and the asterisk is supposed to stand for, like, at the end of the movie, they'll reveal Thunderbolts is actually New Avengers or Dark Avengers. So when the Doomsday threat happens, if the Thunderbolts cast are the New Avengers, where they're going to be the first ones on the scene for whatever destruction or madness is happening, and I'm thinking they're going to be the team, like in James Gunn's Suicide Squad, where they're going to die right away. And they're like, oh, crap. Yeah, we need to bring in some other people to save us because these guys who are just our new Avengers, they died. I'm thinking that's what happened. So I'm honestly go with, like, I don't want them to, but I feel like, Ghost. Maybe not Florence Pugh because she's become pretty important. Wyatt Russell, a Red Guardian. I don't think Lewis Pullman is Sentry. He'll probably get, like, you're going to introduce him as a pretty powerful guy. Be crazy if you kill him right away. But I think a good chunk of those Thunderbolts might be goners if they are our first line of defense in this. None of the Fantastic Four. No way they kill them off. They're going to keep them around. Chris Hemsworth's Thor, no, because until we know if Deadpool is in this movie, we have to have the scene where Chris Hemsworth is crying for Deadpool. Because we got to get a payoff to that joke, right? Why was Thor crying? Honestly, Bucky. It might be time for Bucky. I'm thinking about people who have had long contracts, and maybe it's just time that they've worn out not their welcome, but they've done enough in the MCU. Bucky has been in a lot of movies. He's been in a lot of stuff. If he sacrifices himself to save Anthony Mackie or Falcon or something like that, it'd redeem a lot of the bad stuff he did. So wouldn't be surprised if Bucky eats it. Don't want to admit it, but maybe Shuri, because you need a reason for another Black Panther to step in there. Shuri could get it. I don't think any of the X-Men die. Unless Gambit. Gambit, honestly, because he's a joke character, unfortunately, Gambit could die. So, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Paul Rudd, maybe? I guess you're right, because if I'm thinking about people that have overstayed their welcome and maybe are done, Paul Rudd could. He's had his trilogy, but I think they'll save that for, like, Secret Wars or something like that. I don't know if Doomsday. So I don't know. That's who I think could end up dying. But really, your guess is as good as mine. We'll see, guys. We'll see what ends up happening. Loki. And Loki's a real possibility, especially if he's controlling the multiverse. Killing Loki would then make the multiverse go crazy. All right. Let's move on here. So, I Love Movie says, very happy that Shang-Chi and Namor are coming back. Same. Those are, I think if I listed the best characters they've introduced since Endgame, Shang-Chi and Namor are up, like, top 3, top 5. Probably the top 2, honestly, if I'm being honest. I'm trying to think of, like, who else. And She-Hulk is also in the top 5. Okay. Sure wasn't that great, but She-Hulk is still cool. I hope Tatiana Maslany's in Doomsday. I Love Movie says, which do you prefer? IMAX, Dolby Cinema, ScreenX, or 4DX? I'm a Cinemark guy, so I might say ScreenX, but IMAX, probably IMAX. If it's true IMAX, none of that fake IMAX, you know what I'm saying? We got here, Cowboy said, did you watch the new Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day road trip movie nobody asked for? It is so hilarious that you asked me about that, because I kid you not, last night, so let me actually bring up a poster, because I didn't see anybody talk about this. I did not know this was a thing. Alexander and the Terrible... Okay. So this is a new Disney Plus movie. I think it released today. This is the poster and what it looks like. Some of you might have seen the first movie, even though it's not related to this one. Alexander No Hood, Terrible Bad Day. I think Donald Glover was in it. Well, first, let me give you the context. So I grew up on this book series, okay? Back when I was in elementary school and going to the library, I read one or two of these books, and they were fine. I wouldn't say they're my favorite books. Still waiting for that No David movie. Need that little rascal to have his own movie. But these were books, and it was just about a kid who just had bad day after bad day. Like he stepped in a wet puddle with a sock on. It was raining outside. He forgot his umbrella. Mom poured him cereal, but the milk went sour. Just like things like that, where it was a really bad day. And this was the first movie that they made that came out years ago with Steve Carell, Dylan Minnette, Jennifer Gardner, all this. It wasn't a great movie. It was just a pretty cheesy nothing movie. It was like, it wasn't like memeably awful, but it was just kind of like it existed. It's just one of those Disney movies out there. And now they made a sequel, but Alexander and his family have gone Mexican now, or at least Hispanic from what I can tell. That's not even, I don't care about that. You know, I never care about stuff like that. Cool. I just like, where did this movie come from? I heard nobody talk about it, no promotion, no announcement. As far as I know, this movie was created last night when I just checked my emails and Disney Plus was like, hey, we got a new movie, check it out. And I was like, when did you make this? When did this happen? You know what? Since it's a Disney movie, they're not going to copy strike me if we watch the trailer. So let's actually do that really quick. That's the beauty of Disney. For some reason, they're one of the only studios, as long as there's no like copyrighted music, where you can watch their trailers and they won't copy strike you. So let's actually watch the trailer for this and see if maybe they did something, if they cooked. I don't know why I went to X. I got to go to YouTube. Okay, so first let me log into the account that won't have ads. Perfect. All right, here we go. Share this tab. Okay, Alexander and the Terrible Horrible. Okay, let's watch this trailer. So 2 minutes. This trailer was a month ago and I never saw it. It had 1 million views. Why did nobody ever tell me? Okay, let's watch this, guys.
We are going to the Four Seasons, Mexico City.
Oh, Mexico City. That's where I was born.
So we can rediscover our roots.
We want our children to connect to their heritage.
At the Four Seasons. Viva.
Is somebody going to explain why there's a cursed statue in our attic?
That island's been in our family for 100 years.
I'm not going.
Okay, well, we are. So if you're going to stay, you can stay with Grandpa.
Hey, bachelor weekend. Hey, have you ever seen a cockfight?
Mom, you know he's not kidding, right?
Hey, we could roast a goat, too.
The curse is real.
Alex, it's a made-up story. I promise, nothing bad is gonna happen.
Oh, no. Are those good sparks? We lost our grandma.
Grandma?
Who loses their grandma? Francisco! If that's not a curse, then what is it? It followed us.
Bummer.
We need professional help.
Step into my office.
You got a big problem?
Your hair.
No.
Well, you could have more than one problem. You need to take that back to where it belongs.
Come on, let's go. We're doomed. Whether we believe in the curse or not, it's up to us to take it back. But we can have a good time.
You know what?
Ready?
Hey, what do we say?
I was ready to like crash.
We've been living with the curse this long. How much worse could it possibly get?
Mom, what are you doing?
I spoke too soon. Pussy to the face.
It's in my mouth!
This is not normal.
I'm gonna be honest. I think that looks
We're gonna have to toughen you up, Nino. Okay, boom. Yeah, bang, boom. Hold it there.
This feels like fighting.
Oh yeah, that looks fine. I could see a family watching that and probably being okay with it. It looks like usual hijinks and shenanigans. That's okay. Okay. I was pretty cool. I was ready to be like, what an idiot. This is so why'd they do this? I was like, oh, it looks good. I wouldn't mind watching it and whatnot. I don't know if I'll do a review or whatnot on it, but it looks like it'll be as good as what they did the first time around with this movie. Like, just decent family, whole fun. Interesting that they really are integrating the Mexican culture. I'm fine with that. You know me, I'm a shill for my culture. Who isn't, right? So yeah, okay. But it was just funny that I was like, I did not know this existed. And you're right, nobody asked for this sequel, but it's there if you want it. Technically free on streaming if you have that service. So hey, give it a shot if you want. I was ready to be like, but I'm like, looks fine. All right, moving on. Ben Mouse Guy says, bye Chris. I'm seeing Princess Mononoke in IMAX on Sunday, and it feels appropriate to announce Zelda given the inspiration in Breath of the Wild. Super hyped for it. Oh, yeah, I do remember they said a lot of Studio Ghibli, that kind of stuff is going to be the inspiration for the live action Zelda movie. Curious to what that even like means or looks like. That's where I really want to know what the style of the live action Zelda movie will be like, because a lot of potential there. All right, so we have here thoughts on Miyazaki's reaction to the AI images. Yeah, we were just last super chat was about Studio Ghibli, so I guess we could talk about that. I don't know what happened, but all day today my timeline has been just filled with AI Studio. Let me see. Is it Ghibli? It's sad. It's sad because it really is replicating the style so perfectly or so well in these still frames and whatnot. It's like famous meme photos and things like that being introduced and recreated. It sucks. We're really gonna get to a point and like, see, look how the crazy stuff they're using it for. Such a beautiful art style used for that kind of nonsense. It just hurts to see like that's where art is headed, because I mean, it really is going to be within like 10 years, fully AI movies or movies that people can now make at their home are just going to be so standard. It's really going to hurt the movie theater business more than help it, because it's going to be like, when I can make Avengers Doomsday in my house and make Sydney Sweeney Captain Carter, why am I going to pay for your Disney Shield stuff? That's unfortunately going to be the conversation. So, yeah, it sucks. It sucks. So, yeah, I know as people said 10 years, more like 5. Yeah, you're right. I was being gracious. You're right. It's going to be like 4 or 5 years. It's I will just, because I'm still, obviously, because it's on the timeline sometimes in social media, I'll like click on one to see how good it's gotten. And you can still tell when something is AI because the movements are so off and weird. But that's the thing about it. The way I'm looking at it now is the worst it's going to look. And tomorrow it'll look better and better and better until eventually it's genuinely indistinguishable from, I mean, for all, it could take away my YouTube channel. You could put in chubby Mexican dude giving me movie news. Adios, 3C. Make him like woke. Make him hate woke. Give him boobs. I don't know what you're into. Wild Doomsday theory. I think that Loki is going to be some sort of MacGuffin for Doom. I think Doom is going to go after Loki so that he can control the timeline, and the Avengers are going to try and save him. IDK, I'm reaching. That is pretty good. I could see that. I just wonder how that works if Loki moves his chair, because they made it pretty clear in the show, like, you just got to sit there, dude. I'm sorry. You're just stuck there for the end of time now, holding the timeline. That's the sacrifice you made. I don't know if you can really move him around or like have him going about. Is there a substitute chair guy? I guess we'll find out. But that's a pretty good theory. That's a pretty good theory. Billy Bugsby Entertainment says, go back and watch some Sonic 3 interviews. All the hints to Donut Lord Cyclops returning was there. Oh, I saw those interviews with like IGN and things like that. Yeah, he was playing it coy, and I'm just happy. I'm just happy we're getting Cyclops again. Michael Tomsick says, who do you prefer, Stallone or Schwarzenegger? Oh, that's a good question, man. I've honestly never thought about it. Obviously, back in the 90s and 80s, they were the rival macho men. Do we have like a Stallone and Schwarzenegger now? Like, okay, you would have to put The Rock, right? He would kind of be the Schwarzenegger of today, I would think, because just how massive he is. But I don't know who would be his Stallone. I know people would say Jason Statham, but honestly, no. Like Statham makes fun movies, but I don't think he's made anything as good as the Transporter or Crank movies in a long time, right? I like Death Race. People saying Alan Richardson, I'm willing to be okay with Alan Richardson, but he doesn't even have a movie franchise yet. He's a TV guy, and he's doing great on Reacher, which, hey, I might give you my Reacher Season 3 review. I forgot to add that as a topic, but we'll talk about that later. So John C, you're right, John Cena. Duh. He is getting up there. So it's interesting to think about that. Okay, anyways, back to this though. That is tough because I like them both separately. I will say Stallone is the better actor. I think Stallone is the better actor. I mean, I could see Stallone do Terminator. I could see Stallone do a lot of the roles Schwarzenegger has done. I don't know if I could see Arnold do Rocky. I don't know if I could see him. He could probably do a good Rambo. He'd probably be a fun Rambo. But I guess if I had to pick, my heart is going Arnold. My brain is telling me Stallone. That I don't know if that's an answer for you, but I think both those guys are cool. I just hate that they waited till they were 60 to be friends and make movies. Because you remember when they did that Escape movie? And then they made 3 of them, but only the first one had Arnold? Stallone, what the heck? Maybe, yeah, it's just the choices he makes, man. Nick, I don't like you, buddy. You look like Tito Lopez from Turbo. No offense. Oh my God, let's look up Tito Lopez. Tito Lopez Turbo. Oh, the guy who made the taco? I mean, I get we're both chubby. I don't think I look like him at all. I did see somebody. Let me see if I can bring that up. Here, I'll just bring up the tweet because I thought this was funnier. And you know what? He's probably right. This one I do agree with. But I didn't respond to you because you hit me in the heart, buddy. Let's see. I'm finding the image they tagged me in. But I think a lot of y'all are unfortunately going to agree with them. Come on. Or did they get rid of it? No way they got rid of it. Give me 2 seconds, guys. Oh, they deleted. Oh, they felt bad for it. It was basically oh no, it's right here. I was like, yeah, okay, I kind of see it. 3C Films and Pokemon, because I guess they had a Nintendo Direct and they just, come on, man. They even got my fade. They got my fade in there, man. You got me good. You got me good on that one. I'll agree on that. The Tito Lopez, I don't see it. I'm sorry. I'm willing to admit when I look like a person. I don't look like no Tito Lopez. Random NPC from Pokemon? I look like him. Billy Bug Entertainment says Marvel should do another 5-hour chair stream for Doomsday casting part 2. Also, any predictions of who you want to see in casting part 2? I wonder if they'll do the chair thing again. They got some backlash from it, but it was a huge success. Got a lot of views, and there's a long time of people to talk about it. So it was a success for them, whether you like the presentation of it or not. And like I said, it let us enjoy each cast member one by one instead of it was just an entire list. But some people that I think will be in the next one, like I said, I think you need Rhodey in there. War Machine, why wouldn't you? So Don Cheadle. Brie Larson, Captain Marvel. I don't care about the people who hate her. She's a big part of it, especially if they're going to the Earth to get Monica. You need Brie Larson in there. Bruce Banner, Hulk. Tatiana Maslany, She-Hulk. I think that's about it. Maybe Miss Marvel. I would like Miss Marvel thrown in there. But those are like the only ones I could like pretty much be like, they're probably in there. Marcus Hicks says, hey, Chris, are you excited for CinemaCon next week? You know I am. CinemaCon is always a fun time. We get day after day of reveals and exciting announcements. So, yeah, very excited for that. Flint and Goon, Ender Pearl, The Nether, release, Chicken Jockey. Lewis Clark says, this week I saw Flow, and while I still love the Wild Robots, Flow is my second favorite. Love the story, really like the characters and how they don't talk, which is nice, and love the animation. I agree. I liked Flow. I thought it was a very beautiful movie, very nice, very interesting way they went about telling that story of togetherism, working as a team. But I think Wild Robots should have won. I said it. Good for them, though. Mainimation 42 says, Chris, I made a list of confirmed MCU characters for Doomsday and possible characters. Oh, yeah, I talked about this earlier. It was the first thing we talked about, actually, when the stream started. I'll look for that Google Doc, my friend. MySpace, that link. Cowboy said, did you know about James Cameron's canceled R-rated Spider-Man movie? Leonardo DiCaprio almost playing Spider-Man. What are your thoughts on it? I do remember hearing about it and knowing about it and reading all those details, because I went through a phase when I was like, every canceled Spider-Man movie. I don't remember the thing about it being rated R, though. That's interesting. I remember when Michael Jackson was going to play Spider-Man. That's real. Michael Jackson was so rich and so in love with the character of Spider-Man that he was going to buy Marvel Comics just so he can play Spider-Man. That's kind of crazy. Michael Jackson had that kind of money. They obviously didn't let it happen, but he could have if he wanted to, right? Popper said, I turned 18 yesterday. Any wisdom? Can I get a happy B-Day? Well, happy birthday, Mr. Popper. 18, huh? Bro, I wish I could give you some wisdom. If this YouTube thing did not work out for me, I'd be flipping burgers, buddy. I'd be flipping. I don't know if I'm the best man to give you that advice. I will say, though, since you're still 18, chase what you want. I did give myself that period. Because when I turned 18, I was like, I want to talk about movies. I want to do something movies. This is your time now to make that mistake. This is your time to chase whatever it is you want to do. So I say definitely do that. And then when you get to 21, 22, if it ain't working out, buddy, hey, we gave it the old good try. Then you got to lock in. I don't know if that was good advice or not. Wear lotion a lot. Protect your skin. Yeah. Love Angel says, am I Steve, Flint and Steel Chicken Jockey? I am Steve, Flint and Steel. It's all meshing into my brain now. Chicken Jockey, coming in hot. Good stuff, buddy. Good stuff. Benji Emsam, I just realized that now there's a possibility of Magneto interacting with Red Skull or at least Hydra Cap. I'm for sure interested how much screen time those characters get and their importance to the plot and where things are even at with them as characters. I'm really curious about how all that goes. Coast Fallen says, what's scarier, deep in space or ocean? Ooh. Okay, that is a good question. It's 2 for 2. So let's say let's put us in a situation. If I'm in deep space, I'm just floating into the abyss with an astronaut suit that has 30 minutes left of oxygen. And on the ocean side, I'm also deep into the ocean wearing a scuba suit with also 30 minutes of oxygen. Which situation is scarier? I think it's hard because I'm leaning towards space because it's just emptiness and it's just black. And there's also this, depending when you started floating away, you just start seeing Earth or whatever your spaceship is get smaller and smaller and smaller until it's just gone. And then when your oxygen tank runs out, just suffocating without air, that must suck. And then your body would just drift off forever until it, like a million years later, it hits a planet or a sun or something like that. That's how big space is. The ocean, obviously the drowning fear. I don't want to know what it drowns like, but the bigger fear I think I have is the fish. I don't like going into the ocean because I don't like sea life. That's scary to me. Every time I dunk my head into the ocean, my brain pictures a shark about to come at me. And so just that fear, right? Have you ever seen those TikTok videos where they play, oh, and they have like an animation of a giant squid? Oh, no, thank you. So I think I'm going to go space, but ocean would be pretty scary too. DJ Clever says, is there a new director for Marvel's Blade? I did see that report. I didn't know whether to believe it or not. It said that Chad Stahelski was probably being looked at. It was also from Jeff Snyder. Again, it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know what they're doing with Blade. Blade just might not even be happening. It says Marvel Studios has reportedly hired a new director for Blade. Chad Stahelski may be attached to the film. I mean, Chad Stahelski would be great. The action would at least be top notch, and maybe that's how Chad Stahelski is involved. But I don't know, man. I don't even know if Blade happening. JJ Cinema says, who should be Link? Andrew Garfield. I love Andrew. I think he's a little old. Pete Pelezic or Jonathan Groff. Also, hypothetically, what would happen if Harley Quinn was in Batman Part 2? Dude, that'd be awesome. But it should be very different, I think, than what we'd expect with the grounded serious. I need to look up some of these names. Who's Pete Plazet? I've seen him. Where have I? Oh, he was one of the Turtles. He was one of the Turtles. What else has he been in? He looks like Jack Reacher light. You know what I mean? Like Coke Zero Jack Reacher. That makes sense, right? Isn't that crazy how I can just like say that? Coke Zero Jack Reacher. You hear those words, you see the photo, and you go, I get what he means. Beauty of language, man. Beauty of language. Again, I think a little too old, unfortunately. Jonathan Groff. Who's that? Let's see. Is he Pepsi? Jack Reacher? Jonathan Groff. Oh, that's again, I think too old, unfortunately. Why do you guys think Link is gonna be like a full-grown man? Isn't Link usually like a teen or a kid? I'm just curious, like, because again, I'm not that well versed in Legend of Zelda stuff, so I guess that's just we're used to that kind of stuff with Hollywood. Sure, why not? Let's see here. Did someone ask me about it? Let me see. If someone did ask me about it, I'll wait for that super chat. But if not, I'll give you my review soon. Because I see people want to know about Jack Reacher. The reason I love Flo's animation is because it was in Blender. Oh, and I use a bit of Blender for my artwork. Dude, I tried sitting down and just trying to learn Blender. I got too frustrated. I wish I really could, because it'd be so awesome to be able to create on that. And I know there's probably people, oh, so easy, Chris. I couldn't do it. I couldn't even make that donut. That guy who teaches you how to make the donut, I made a bagel. Connor Sturman says, I'm super excited for the FNAF 2 trailer next week. Me too, buddy. Let's hope it is a trailer. Let's hope it is a trailer. Do you think if Disney didn't own Marvel, we would have movies that are less broad for audiences? For example, Captain America movie in Dimension Z. Oh, I do wonder what the MCU would look like if Disney didn't own it, because there was a genuine shift and change. I don't know if Paramount owning them, they would be pumping out like streaming content for Paramount Plus and all that kind of stuff, and forcing them just to make as much stuff as they possibly can. I think we would also see more mature things. So we would have seen rated R content a long time ago. I think it would have been a cooler MCU, if I'm being honest, if it stuck with Paramount as opposed to Disney. But also it could have been a cheaper one, because Paramount and the what was it? Ike Perlmutter? Not Ike Perlmutter. It was some guy's name. I forget his name. But the guy who was like ahead of Feige, he was like a real stickler for the money. So maybe like some of these movies would not be looking the way they should. But then again, maybe you shouldn't be spending $500 million on one movie. Maybe that guy had a point. You know what I'm saying? Was it Ike Perlmutter? What was the guy's first the guy who was ahead of Feige? Does anyone know? Somebody knew. What was his name? Let's see. Kevin Feige boss. I don't remember the guy's name. AI here. No, didn't say. Yeah, Ike Palmer. Okay, so I was right. Okay, cool. Let's move on. Hammer says Venom now twerks in Marvel Rivals. You're welcome. I did see that. Pretty interesting they did that. I can't wait till they add the She-Hulk skin or character in the game. Then I'm gonna have real fun with that emote. David Hernandez says thoughts on Paranormal Activity franchise. I like it, but the movies fell off later on. The franchise is gonna come back. That's one of those franchises that is like super profitable because it costs like $1 million to make a movie, and they end up making like 100 million, 200, not 200, but like 100 million sometimes. Even just 80 million on that budget is a great turnaround. I think they're giving a very deserved break to the franchise right now, which is what's needed. I wouldn't mind if it came back as a TV series. Paranormal Activity kind of TV series could be pretty good. But yeah, I like the franchise. David Hernandez says, have you ever watched any Bat in the Sun films? Yeah, I used to watch those all the time on YouTube and was like, oh, why can't Hollywood just do it like this? I remember that one really famous one of like, I think they got the bat costume and he's like down and then he gets up and the cape kind of swells in. Really cool look. Ab Torres says, pick one for Avengers 4 and 5. Morbius, Madam Web, or Craven. Venom is locked in though. So Venom is definitely just going in. Okay, fine. If I had to pick, you know what? Craven. Because that movie did suck. It was not good. But they gave Craven a pretty cool ability that isn't very Craven-like, but it's still cool. His powers and what he was doing, I would love those powers. So Craven, just because I like Aaron Taylor Johnson. Daniel Bloy says, Chris, first time watching your stream. I love your show. I always love how chipper you are. Thanks. You are a trip and have a big heart. Oh, man. Guys, stop it. Y'all have to say something like that. It's just fun. You guys make it fun. I know sometimes I mess up. I know sometimes my opinions are very like, can't believe you said that. That's not even a good opinion. Why am I watching this guy? But I love that you guys watch me for my energy and me. It makes me feel good because I don't know. It's like I was talking about, and you guys, if you're watching this later or in the chat right now, because it's like I have the opportunity sometimes to go to CinemaCon, but I worry about I end up not going because even though it'd be cool to be in the room and get the news firsthand and then tell you through my own eyes, like, okay, this is the trailer we saw, guys. This is what happens, instead of reading an article like I usually have to do for CinemaCon. I just worry about being the first to be able to get you that information. So that's why I'm like, I'm at my desk. I got my all equipment. This is what revealed, guys. Here's what's happening. And so, I don't know. It's gotten to the point now where some of y'all just watch for me. And it's not about being first and whatnot. And like, those are the fans I appreciate. They're like, I just want to hear what Chris has to say. I already saw 10 TikToks and 2 YouTube videos, but Chris finally posted. Let me see what he thought about James Marsden coming back. That makes me feel good. We have here, let's see. I missed one there. Preston says, I was at the Soup's Doctor Strange watch party and 3C was there taking a group photo. I waved to him and he immediately came over to talk to me about the movie. This solidified him as my favorite creator. Come on, guys. The one thing about me is if you ever see me in real life, just come up to me. As long as you're not being a douche or anything like that. But come up to me, say hi. I am going to treat you like if we are old friends from high school. I'm not kidding. That's what I do. Anytime I see someone come up to me, I'm like, yeah, it's me. What's up, man? How you doing? I treat you good. I treat you good. Now, okay, if something's happening, someone's dying, I'm like, let's wait 1 second. I just saved this life. Then we can talk, but in there, I have to do my duties as a saver lifer. All right. Todd Murray says, do you think the characters casted in Doomsday will be less important to the story in Secret Wars like it was blipped once? I think it will be something like that. That's why we were talking about possible characters that could die in there. And I was like, probably most of the Thunderbolts, a couple of people here and there. That could very well be the case. Because how do you have a movie, unless they reveal to us Secret Wars is divided into 2 parts? Would love that, but who knows, right? Yeah, I think that's very much the case. So the people who are watching now, they are for sure on the chopping block of dying, and then other characters will be coming in. Maybe that's why they don't throw in Spider-Man in there. Could have a thing where most of those guys die, and it's just like 2 people left. That would be crazy. Lewis Clark says, I'm excited for both Sonic 4 and Legend of Zelda, but I am scared of them releasing the same year together. Well, I have no problem with them releasing the same year. Again, that makes it fun. Sega versus Nintendo, old classic rivalry coming in there. But I do worry about them like even being a week apart from each other. That's too much. Have them at least be 2 weeks apart. We can handle that. And then also it's during the summer movie season, so you got Godzilla and Kong, and who knows what other movies just came out a week before that or the week after. So it's just one of those things where it's like, someone's going to have to move. Someone's going to have to move. Big Busta says, a reliable source told me Paul Giamatti is a top runner for DCU Batman. Wanted to give you a free inside scoop, 3C. Get hyped. Paul Giamatti. I would not mind him in a Batman movie. Maybe not as Batman, though. I think he would have made a cool Alfred. I could see Paul Giamatti as Alfred. Don't you think he'd be a good one? Oh, but he's got to be British, right? Or is that just something we make up? No, Alfred's usually British, right? Paul Giamatti can play British. We have British people play Americans all the time. Let's have an American play a British. Let's do it, guys. Come on. Has that happened? I can't think of a time where that's happened. Why can Hybrid Player says, why can Transformers get PG-13 rating but not Sonic? That is a good question. I think it's because Transformer movies make $1 billion at a PG-13 rating. At a PG rating, Sonic caps out at about 400, right under 400, around the 300 mark. So if you start to PG-13 it and cut off some of those ages, which, believe it or not, there are parents who let kids go at 12, 11, 10 to the theater, then you could sacrifice the little that you're making right now. So Transformers makes $1 billion on PG-13. Sonic makes not even half that on PG, unfortunately, right? I know. It's the thing that's like, I really thought Sonic 3 was going to make like 600 mil and then Mufasa like kick their butt at the worldwide box office. What did you say about my brother? Nobody talk about my brother. That song was in my head for a couple weeks. Good stuff. The Pikmini person says Sonic 4 and Zelda as the new Barbenheimer. What would we call it? Suck Zelda. What? Sonic 4 Zelda. What was the Legend of Sonic? I don't. We got to think of something. Something in there's got to happen. Lewis Clark says, I also think the Zelda movie is getting a young actor like Mason Thames to play Link. Yeah, it's going to be someone around that age. Mason Thames, Walker Scoball. You know what? Who we haven't seen in a while, but I don't know how big he's gotten, is he used to pop up in a ton of movies. Jacob Tremblay. How old is he now? He's 18. Perfect. Dude, Jacob Tremblay. Let's make him Link. He's a good actor. I could see him as Link. He's already wearing green right here. Yeah, Jacob Tremblay. I like him as Jacob Tremblay. Or who are is he also, he was one of them. Who was the other kid who was the Wanda twins? That kid too would be pretty good. Man, he grew up. I know that's what happens, but he grew up. I could see him eventually playing the guy from Ratatouille. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? I see a lot of people spamming, so we're going to take a break from the super chats just so I could talk about this then, because I don't think anyone's asking it. Let me give you my quick thoughts on Reacher Season 3. Okay, Jack Reacher, baby. So, Season 3 just finished. I guess I will be talking, I don't know if small spoilers. It's not really something... I won't give away like super major deaths and things like that, but I will go into my thoughts on Jack Reacher Season 3. So overall, if you're not watching Jack Reacher, hop on this show because it is good. It is just, it's like a classic 80s action movie franchise or star told in television form. First season has some slow parts, but it gets good. And then Season 2, all good. Season 3, all good. Some would say better than Season 2. I'm liking it more and more every season, and Alan Richardson is killing this role. So this time around for season 3, we're putting Jack Reacher in a situation where he is going undercover and he's pretending to be a bad guy to get to the other bad guy, right? I'm like, love it. Love that stuff. It created a good situation. First off, with the teen dynamics, I like the teen dynamics. The people that they had, the lady, that's always the thing, just like in the 80s action movie. He's got to have a new honey boo to be smooching with while he fights the bad guys. But she was awesome and had a good motive and whatnot. Let me just get into like my one negative this season, and then I'll get on to the other thing I liked. I wasn't a big fan of the villain this season. So we had Paulie, who was like the side villain, but we had another villain, which, oh, there he is. Okay, so this was the guy, his name was Quinn, and I won't get too much into the backstory in case you haven't seen it, but there's a personal backstory to why Jack Reacher really wants to go after this guy. They had history from way back in the day, unfinished business. Reacher sees that he's working with these guys, and it's the main reason he infiltrates, because he wants to get at him. I think he's the weakest villain so far of all the seasons. He didn't really present that threat to me. I liked the motive. The motive Reacher had to go after and want to kill this guy. Loved it. That was good. And the way their story arc ends, badass. Badass. That last scene with him, badass. But overall, I just wasn't feeling it. I liked way more the villain of the second season. You know, the T-1000. I forget the actor's name. But he was good, even though he was old and couldn't like fight Jack Reacher in a like that level. But it, like, I felt him as a bad guy. I was like, oh, I hate this guy. But him, I just wasn't that big on him. I thought he was eh. And so, but the thing that did make up for it is all season, they were teasing this actor, Paulie, who, as you can see here, is a guy bigger than Jack Reacher. And that's always the thing with Jack Reacher. He's always the biggest guy in the room. It's so funny every time Jack Reacher has to fight somebody at a bar or on the street, because they're always like 3 feet shorter, like way 1/10 of the muscle of Reacher, and yet they still put their fists up with confidence like they're actually going to defeat this guy. And like always, Reacher one punches everybody and gets away with it. So it was kind of nice now that they got somebody who is not only bigger than Reacher, but stronger. And the whole season is just building up to their eventual fight and that. And then when they get to fighting in that final episode, ooh, was it nicely built. I don't think I'm joking when I say this. Half the episode was them fighting. This show's an hour long, so you just get 30 minutes of muscle and muscle, guy on guy, just going at it, baby. And that's what I love. Right there, that was awesome. Just the whole fight. And it's so funny because they're fighting, and then you'll cut to like a story point and characters doing something. Oh, back to the boys just tussling. Okay, we're gonna go to this storyline, do this, and then back to the boys tussling. It was so awesome. It was just so cool. They did that really well. I liked it a lot. So I'm trying to think of any other things. As far as like what could they do next? Because I was talking about this with my lady. Because again, this season was good. I like the relationships, the motive, the story, the undercover, putting Reacher in a situation where he has to like be a bad guy and whatnot. All that was good. The only part was the weak villain. I'm like, okay, what do they do now? Because you know, I feel like now we're starting to get to a point where we're repeating the formula. If we do another season of him just wandering to a different town, stumbles upon something from his past, or meeting Neely again and help, it's so wishy-washy. I think the thing you do to switch it up, it's time to take Jack Reacher overseas, baby. That's my prediction for season 4 if it ends up happening, which I bet it probably will. I think we're going to see a season of Jack Reacher in the UK. In Mexico would be kind of Jack Reacher versus the cartel. Oh, yeah. Let's do something Rambo style where like someone he knew as a kid got some drugs. Now he's going to go after the cartel. I'd love to see that. So that's what I would like to see for the next season is a Jack Reacher out of his comfort zone. He doesn't have the U.S. government or his big connections to always help him out. Of course, you got to throw Neely somewhere in there, but sparingly. They mixed it up this season by giving us it, because that fight with Paulie, Jack Reacher, like, several times could have died. Like, he got his butt whooped. So it was pretty cool to see. I did like the one episode where they had him say vengeance, like he was Batman. That's just something that's going to happen. I can see why people want Alan Richardson to be Batman, because everything this guy does, you're just like, this guy's freaking Batman. Not just in muscle and strength, But Jack Reacher is the type of character where he has the most random knowledge that becomes useful. You know, some person will pick up a box cutter and Jack Reacher will be like, that's a box cutter from the 1970s made from a company that went out of business in Wisconsin. I know because I had an uncle who worked there. Like, it's the most random knowledge that comes in handy that feels very Batman-esque, and Jack Reacher pulls that off. So I liked it. I digged it. Those are my thoughts and theories for where I think they'll take the next season. But we'll see. You know what would be cool? A season of Jack Reacher in prison, and he's just beating up bad guys in prison. And then at the end of the show, he escapes and goes about his day. But a season of Reacher contained, imprisoned, that'd be pretty cool. That'd be cool. Yeah. All right. You guys let me know, especially if you've read the books, if there's any cool storylines, because each season is from an actual Jack Reacher book, and I know there's like 19 of them or something. So you guys let me know. All right, back to the questions though. Let's see. All right. Any news on the Batman Part 2? The last update we got is that they're hoping to film the movie at the end of this year. And that word right there scares me. They hope that they film at the end of this year. It really seems like it's still, coming down to Matt Reeves and trying to get that script done. We know there's like said to be personal life issues, so I don't want to be too much of a complaining fanboy of, give me my superhero movie, Matt Reeves. I don't care if you're dealing with something. We all got lives and stuff, so we'll see. But that's literally the latest update is hopefully they film at the end of this year. All right, a cowboy says, could we see a Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th before a new Saw? Well, we are going to get Friday the 13th in the TV series probably before a new Saw. As far as the movie goes, wouldn't hold my breath, buddy. I really don't know if I'll ever get Nightmare on Elm Street again. Well, no, I feel like I will get Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street one more time in my lifetime in theatrical form. But it might be when I'm like, it might be 5-10 years from now, and that's what sucks. I need those movies now. The thing also that makes me mad, you're about to have a generation who didn't grow up on these characters, and then that's dangerous for the longevity of those franchises. Because then you don't have, look at Final Destination. The reason that trailer became the second most viewed horror movie is because the previous generation grew up watching those Final Destination movies. I had my dad call me just yesterday being like, hey son, how you doing? What's up? He was like, oh, I saw that Final Destination trailer. You remember how we would watch those movies as a family and all that? I was like, yeah, Dad. And it's just like that. That's why that movie is like so hyped and got so many views, because people grew up on that. Nightmare on Elm Street movies, Friday the 13th, they're kind of old, you know? Unfortunately, these TikTok younglings aren't wanting to sit down and watch Freddy and Jason because they're on Terrifier now, or Saw. That's been pretty recent. So it's like, you don't want to miss out on skipping a generation, because then you don't have those people who come back in. Isaiah says, Tom Hiddleston was honestly my favorite casting announcement for Doomsday. After the Loki show made him a top 5 MCU character. Can't wait for the reunion between him and Chris Hemsworth. Yeah, that's going to be awesome to see them. And it's going to be also interesting how they handle it, because Chris Hemsworth saw his brother actually die, and now he's going to meet a version of his brother that, didn't die and has now turned good. What is that going to look like? That's going to be interesting. Macho Mind says, aren't you going to talk about the new Green Day movie? There's a Green Day movie. I like Green Day, some of their music, but I didn't know there was a Green Day movie. Ordinary World? I've never heard about this. A comedy inspired. Wait, no, that came out in 2016. There's a new one. Green Day inspired comedy movie in the works from Live Nation production. What's the plot? Their road trip is a rowdy and mischievous jaunt across the country filled with adventures based on exploits of Green Day and their years of living in a tour van. Oh, that's pretty cool. So it's based on some of the crazy, wacky things they've gone through while touring. I need a scene where he gets out the bus. It's broken down. The tire is flat. No one is around. And then he just looks at the camera and goes, I walk a lonely road, the only road that I have ever known. Don't know where it go. I know, angelic. You're welcome. All right. Let's see here. Wino says, Wino fell down her well. Let's hope he has a ladder. Tyson Bellingers says Linda Cardellini as Velma is the GOAT. Ty Simpkins as Link. Oh, why does that name sound familiar? Ty Simpkins. Ty Simpkins. 23. Okay. Oh, he was in Iron Man 3. I haven't seen him do much or be in anything since Jurassic World and Iron Man 3. Yeah, bring him back in there. I'm not going to lie. I think this is another actor who follows me on social media. Ty, if you're listening, you know what it means. I don't think he does. Sure. John Cino says, watching Popeye the Slayer Man so bad it's good. I got to get to watching it. I've been busy, buddy. I actually did order a Popeye costume, so I have to watch it because I paid money for that costume. So, got to get to it. Ben Malsky says, Shag and Daff were paired in the 80s in 13 Ghosts. Oh, they were. You probably mean Matthew Lillard and why am I forgetting her name? Buffy. What's her name? Buffy. Sarah Michelle Gellar, right? Yes. Cool. They were in that movie. The Pink Mini person says, just keep Scooby-Doo 2D like Space Jam. Any objections? It'd be interesting if they do that. It would be interesting if they do that, but I think people would want some 3D. I mean, they did it in those Cartoon Network made-for-TV movies, and that was passable enough animation, so yeah. Sunday Joe says, do you think Thunderbolts opens bigger than Cap 4? Probably. Yeah, I mean, it's looking really fun and interesting to me right now. I think it might, which would be weird because I feel like you have more of a, how do I say, a built-in already presence for like Sam Wilson because he was in the Captain America movies and the Red Hulk. I thought that would be big enough to catapult it, but no, I think Thunderbolts might. Jacob B. All-Star says, have you watched Severance? Thoughts? Yes, love Severance. Very good. Trippy show. Fantastic. One of the best shows on right now. Also love the way season 2 ended. It had me on the edge of my seat. And also because they had red lights. I wish I was severed. Me when I go through the severed elevator. Oh, what was this? Leland Sperlin says the Scooby-Doo episode of Supernatural should be how the show should be. Yeah, that's probably that is a good choice. The way they had that would be good. Yanni Ron says Mission Impossible trailer at CinemaCon. Doomsday's first teaser at Comic-Con in July, most likely. And what other trailers can we expect at CinemaCon? I feel like we have to get a new Superman trailer, so I think that is coming. Other trailers that we got going on. I mean, the teaser for FNAF 2, that's a real possibility. I'm trying to think of like what other movies we have up and coming. Sony needs to drop some of the trailers for some of the things they're doing. I Know What You Did Last Summer would be a great trailer to get going, but if not now, it's got to be, what's the next big horror movie? I think it'd be I Know What You Did Last Summer. Kobe Hobby Room says, Chris, do you know Johnny? Oh, yes, Johnny English or James Bond, but Mr. Bean is a star. If so, you heard that they're filming the 4th? No. They're filming another? There's 3? I thought there was only 2 Johnny English movies. I do know who Johnny English is. Mr. Bean, and I do think he's funny. Johnny English. There was Johnny English 3? When did this happen? When did Johnny English 3 come out? 2018. Did I miss? Okay, there was Johnny English 2. That was in 2011. And even in that movie, they were joking about how he was already old, right? So they did a 3rd one. I do not remember the 3rd one at all. Is this the one where he's chasing the bad guy? Which one? Is it 2 or 3? The one where he's chasing a bad guy and the bad guy's doing like all these parkour, like crazy moves, and Johnny's just following him, opening doors, walking really calmly and steadily. Is that 2 or 3? Because that's the last one I remember. Let me know. Oh, these movies were never amazing, but they were hilariously bad. They were kind of like that was 2. Okay, so I have not seen any of 3. But these are like the Pink Panther movies with Steve Martin, where they're not necessarily great movies, but I remember laughing at those movies. Would you like to buy a hamburger? Would you like to buy a hamburger? It was good, right? And so to me, that same quality. I did not know they're making a fourth one. Johnny English 4. Rowan Atkins, known as Mr. Bean, is set to reprise the role. I'm gonna have to watch Johnny English 3 then. Yeah, these are guilty pleasure fun movies I would watch with my family. Like I said, we have only seen the first 2 then. I have not seen 3. Sure, I'll probably pop them on for dumb fun. All right. Well, thank you for letting me know about that. I love the Mr. Bean stuff he would do, the Mr. Bean movies, and I remember watching the Mr. Bean stuff as a kid and always thinking that was funny. That's always how he was, just the little noises. Mr. Bean. MK skins are in Fortnite shop. Oh, I'm getting it. I'm getting that katana and scorpion skin and doing unimaginable things. I'm not getting Raiden. I've never been that big of a Raiden fan. Y'all like Raiden? Scorpion and the katana skins are cool. Ghost BC Fan 1 says, there was a fan Scooby-Doo series called Mystery Incorporated on YouTube that had 1 episode released, had an Indigo for funding a full series. It never happened. I watched it. It was actually promising. It did look promising. I remember watching some of it and whatnot. They probably got hit with a cease and desist. Warner Brothers was like, oh, I don't think so. But we'll see. Mario, do you think Doom kills Loki to take control of the multiverse? That has to happen. I think that's unfortunately a given, especially if he's going to create Battle World. And that's probably how he gets his throne. I mean, Loki is sitting on a throne right now of the multiverse. Doom on that throne, creating Battle World. That's probably how the movie ends. I don't think they'll kill off Loki in Avengers movie again. And again, even if they kill Loki, bring him back as a variant. Manimation 42 says, any Coyote vs. Acme news? Also sent you an email. Oh yeah, I thank you for the email about that. But Coyote vs. Acme news, all we know is when American tax season is over, we have to have a decision. Because that's the cutoff date for Warner Brothers to write it off in their taxes and get that money. So whenever the last day to file your taxes and all that stuff is, what, like April 5th? Or April 25th? I don't know. I know I'm doing my taxes tomorrow, unfortunately. But whenever the last day is, that's literally the deadline. Like, they have to make a decision. Are you selling it or are you writing it off for tax purposes? So April 15th. Thank you, chat. April 15th is when... Oh, Reed, you're in here. Happy to see you, Reed, our editor. Yeah, that's when, whatchamacallit, they have to make the decision. So by April 15th, we'll know if Ketchup was able to buy it or they wrote it off. That's the cutoff. Tom says, love your channel. Appreciate you, Tom. Appreciate you. Chris, morning routine? I've been seeing those morning routine videos. I do think about doing them as a little gag. But yeah, I dunk my head in some blue water. Then I get a banana and I rub it on my face. And the way I see it, we got to get at least 10,000 views. It's so crazy how that went viral, man. And that's it. That was an insane video. Hopefully you know what we're talking about. And there's no way that guy's talking to anybody anytime he does that. It's so funny. The way I look at it, bro, we got to do at least 10,000. Who are you talking? And it's always 10. He's done like 3 other videos and he's like, oh, you made your first 10 million. Congrats. Let's get you to 20. It's always 10. It's like, yeah, I'd like to put 10,000 on that guy. But yeah. The Dublad says, hey 3C, big fan. I saw the day the earth blew up this week, and now I'm a loony goon like you. Loony goons, unite, but don't shake hands. Victor Kaya says, Chris, I got my future wife watching you. I'll make sure she sends super chats. Love you, Jess. Hey, I hope it works out for you, Victor and Jess. I'm right now gonna send you my praises. Victor and Jess, forever and ever, or until one of them... I was trying to think of something funny and nothing came up. Play Fortnite together. My lady and I started playing Fortnite together. It's rekindled our love in unimaginable ways. I'm surprised she's getting into it. DJ Cleffer says, I made a fan pitch for Courage the Cowardly Dog movie on Reddit. I DM'd it to you on Reddit in case you find it. Okay. I'll look at that pitch. Thank you. Thank you, DJ. Jessica, hi, I'm Jess, and my BF secretly wants to marry you. Oh, Jessica, I'm so sorry, but I'm a taken man. Thank you for stopping by, though, and whoever your boyfriend is, thank you for watching, buddy. Thank you for watching. Games for Ted says, I'm absurdly relieved Tom might not be in Doomsday. I just want to see as much Spider-Man as I can, so I am sad, but like I said, if he's not in it, I feel like that's good news for Spider-Man 4. That is good news for Spider-Man 4. Reed Jackson Media says, Reed here, been a minute with school. Thoughts on Martin Scorsese's next movie being made with Disney? That is interesting. I don't know if it's like necessarily, well, I guess it is going to be made with them since it hasn't been shot. But if you don't know what he's talking about, which I'm really interested in this movie, it sounds cool. It's starring Dwayne The Rock Johnson, Leonardo DiCaprio. It's about a mob boss in Hawaii. And like, I think it's Leo's character who's trying to take his business, take his territory. That sounds cool. Leo versus Dwayne Johnson in a mafia movie with Martin Scorsese. We got our next Wolf of Wall Street. Wolf of Honolulu. I just gave you a title, Martin Scorsese. Good stuff. Good to see you, Reed. Nocturnal Kid says, Doomsday being most likely Avengers versus X-Men. I wonder what other characters, Sony, Fox, and etc., who they'll side. I did see people were posting that like Jessica Alba had congratulated Danny Ramirez. Or just like that photo. Let's see, Jessica Alba. We don't see her acting much. I wonder what she'd be up to. But yeah, Jessica Alba, who played Invisible Woman in the Fantastic Four movies, the older ones, said Jessica Alba congratulates Danny Ramirez on joining the cast of Avengers Doomsday. It's pretty interesting she did that. Danny Ramirez, yay! I don't know if they're like dating or something in real life. Maybe some of you guys can fill me in on that. But anyways, hey. I would love to see them pop in there. We got Chris Evans in there. I'd love to see Jessica Alba's Invisible Girl or the actor who did Reed Richards come back. I like those Fantastic Four movies. I know they weren't amazing, but I liked them. All right. Let's see here. DP69 says, question, can you please follow me back on Insta? I have some movie news that I want to give you in private. You're scaring me, DP. Yes, I'll get to that. Avengers Goons Day. I saw so many people tweet that already. I'm numb to it. Goon out of here. G Loco says, did you watch the Purge TV series? Just found out that it exists today. Do you recommend it, boss? I do remember watching it. I thought it was fine. I don't think it's anything amazing. It's like enjoyable, watchable. It's fun. I think it got canceled, so I didn't even continue with season 2 because I was like, oh, well, no point then. But I remember like enjoying the first season. I was like, yeah, it was fine. It's fine. Speeder says, are you most excited for Spider-Man 4 or Doomsday? And since I have no idea what Doomsday is, since I have no idea what Spider-Man 4 is about, and all I know is Sadie Sink, which no offense to Sadie Sink, but on Doomsday, I know I'm getting X-Men like Ian McKellen, James Marsden, and all these other cool characters. Doomsday right now. But once you tell me the real plot of Spider-Man 4 and the villain, it might be Spider-Man 4. Tony Montana says, Spider-Man in Secret Wars shows up and asks everyone, hey, what's going on? And he sees a picture of Tony Stark as Doom. Maybe. Hey, everyone. Yeah, that'd be pretty interesting if he does that. I think you got to have Spider-Man in like the post-credit scene of Doomsday. That's what you got to do there. Kobe says, Scorpion in Spider-Man 4. I'm begging you, Marvel. Same. I want Scorpion, Shocker, Vulture. You know what? Just have them three. Them three as a team and call it the Sinister Half-Six versus Spider-Man. Just those three alone would be so cool fighting Peter. DJ Cleffler says, Chameleon was in Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Was he? I don't remember. Why do I not remember this? Okay, he was in there. I know. I liked it. I liked his story arc in the Spectacular Spider-Man where he was pretending to be Spider-Man and had all these different gadgets to be Spider-Man. I thought that was cool. Let's see here. The Threatening 3. I like that. Crispy says, you gonna get canceled for that red video. Oh, dude. Yeah, the way that was edited and stuff, yeah, getting canceled. Cowboy Diddy says, I meant Doomsday stream. Oh. Yes. Of course, Doomsday stream. Thank you for that clarification. Caleb Lay says, you hear they might do a part 2 chair stream? Part 2 chair stream? Excitement. They'll probably do something like that. You know what? At that point, it'd be funny if they do it, because now we're used to it, we're aware of it, and we can make a day out of it and just have some fun. Khan says, hey Chris, have you heard Nihad 2 it's now the most... Yes, I have heard about it. I need to eventually get onto that train because I want to see what the hype is. From the people I have seen that have seen it, said it's pretty good. So I got to see what that's about. Could you follow me on Letterboxd? It's Crispy09. I'm going to screenshot this right now just so I could have it for later, buddy. And then I'll get into it. My Wussy says, will we have Doomsday live stream predictions? Oh, I mean, for sure after that trailer drops, we'll probably have a live stream talking about it. Maybe when the official plot or when things get even bigger, we could do something like that. Definitely going to have to do something like that. Logan says, movies that aged poorly. Ooh. That's a good one. I'm trying to think of ones that I like off the top of my head where I was like, those were bangers. It's not a banger anymore. Let me see if Google can assist us into where we think first. And then movies that aged poorly. Now, there could be many reasons. It could be for the subject matter. It could be for the visual effects. It could be for, I don't know. Let's see here. Big. Oh, I still like Big, but that is a weird one. Because this is a movie where a little kid turns into a grown man for like a weekend. And in the movie, he ends up sleeping with a girl. And that was technically a little guy. So that was weird, but I still like that movie. A Blank Check for sure. This was a Disney movie also. This one was weird. This is a movie about a kid who, like, he literally gets a blank check so he can write as much money as he wants. And at one point, he goes on a date with this girl, and they kiss. It's weird. That's a Disney movie, man. That was a weird one. I unfortunately have never seen The Greatest Showman, so I don't know what to tell you on there. Milk Money includes a worker showing preteen boys the bare chest. Okay. Don't know about that one. Dangerous Minds, never seen it. The Help, also unfortunately never seen it. I do want to, though, with Emma Stone. A Beautiful Mind. Dude, a lot of ones I have not seen. Stonewall? Okay. That's not one I saw. Me Before You. Man, a lot of these ones I have not seen. Crazy Stupid Love. I like that movie. What's wrong with this one? Which ends with a 17-year-old giving a 13-year-old boy. That happened in that movie? I do not remember that. I do not remember. A lot of stuff where little boys get luckies in movies. Oh, American Beauty. That is one where it is just like that one Best Picture. That was an Oscar one. It seems kind of like, kind of mediocre. Oh, not mediocre. There is some good in it, but now it's kind of just kind of odd. American Pie probably does age poorly, but I still like American Pie. I still liked American Pie. Passengers, yeah, that one was an interesting one. That's the one where, whatchamacallit, Chris Pratt, like, pulls Jennifer Lawrence out of hibernation just because he's lonely and wants to be with somebody. And she's mad for, like, a couple days, but then she's like, you know what? I love you. Let's be together. Jennifer Lawrence, you a victim. You a Chris Pratt victim. That, funny enough, that was the first movie I saw in theaters with my fiance. So I think I must have done the same to her. I am her Chris Pratt. And I locked her in, boys and girls. She can't escape now. She fell asleep during the movie, by the way. True love struck in the theater that day. Revenge of the Nerds. Yeah, that one is a gross one. That one is definitely bad. That one's just straight up assault. Yeah, if you know, you know. I do remember watching this one as a kid. Wedding Crashers. That one was crazy. You know what? I saw this movie with my mom. We thought it was just gonna be a raunchy, funny comedy because my mom has like a big old crush on Vince Vaughn. She thinks Vince Vaughn is so handsome, which I was like, oh, I don't get it, but I guess I get it now because he's a funny man. But that was a weird one to sit next to my mom with. A lot of weird stuff. She like jerks him off under the table in one scene. I'm just there. Can I have more popcorn, Mom? These are that I like that. I still like Wedding Crashers. Horrible Bosses, yeah, that was just a lot of assault, man. Just a lot. It's crazy. It's okay. I think we should just move on. But yeah, these did not go well. These did not go well. All right, here we go. DP69 says, "Can you come down to Missouri as a con that you should go?" I'll look into it. Is that where they have the animatronic con? Because I saw some TikToks of that, and I want to go to that. There's a cool Comic Con. I call it Comic Con, but it's a cool convention that where they show off all the latest and greatest technology in like haunted house animatronics and like stuff that you'll eventually be able to buy at Home Depot that year. And it always looks so dope. I want to do a video of that one day, like going there. Miss Minutes and Ravonna Renslayer and Doomsday. I don't Miss Minutes for sure, probably. But Ravonna and all them, I don't know, because they had such heavy ties to Kang, and we're kind of done with the Kang storyline, you know? Senor Spidey says, Sadie Sink is Scream, which can be the reason how Peter gets the black suit. It'd be really random if it's Sink. Sadie Sink as Scream is like the first symbiote character they introduced. That'd be pretty random. Crispy says, I don't get why they don't just call it Dark Avengers. The title would get more butts in the theaters than I agree. I don't. Maybe it's just because it doesn't make sense for the way the movie goes for 90% of it. You know, they're like they're forced. Dark Avengers would have been such a great title for that movie. It would have definitely have gotten butts in seats, but maybe they didn't want to abuse the Avengers name. Like that's quality, you know? Trent2508 says, will you be at Texas Frightmare or Dallas Fan Expo? Both, yes, buddy. Both, yes. Will I vlog both? I don't know yet. I don't know. Nerdy Mastermind says, how do you feel about Linda Cardellini being cast in Crystal Lake? Do you have theories what the show will be about? We want Jason and a movie. So I definitely think like the first 2 episodes have to be Jason being killed at camp, and then Linda Cardellini basically going through that, not wormhole, but going through that turmoil of like, I just lost my son. I'm sad. I got to give up my singing career. And now I'm going to go kill some kids at a camp. I think it's just going to be from her perspective, probably a lot of flashbacks to raising Jason and things like that. It'd be so interesting. But yes, I want a Jason movie. I hope it's good. I'm willing to give it a chance. It's by A24. Should be good. The last A24 show I saw was Beef. And that was pretty good. They did Beef on Netflix. That was good. Daniel Bloy says, they are releasing on my birthday. Congrats, Daniel. Birthday. Merdano Review says, my dog Chris, good to see you on the live again. Did you see A Working Man, and will you be reviewing it? Honestly, probably not. I'm still debating if I'm going to review, ¿cómo se dice? The Woman in Black movie that just came out. I had no idea it was releasing this weekend. I thought it was still like a week or 2 away, but then I started seeing people review it, and I was like, oh, I gotta watch that. I hear it's awful too, but I've also seen some people love it. So it's interesting that there's a lot of people that hate it, but some people love it. I can't wait I might see it. I don't know. Devox62 says, salute, Mr. 3C. Have you ever seen the show Community? If so, what are your thoughts and any anticipation for the film? I have seen Community. I gotta be honest, I don't love the show. I like the first like 3 seasons, and then I just kind of got bored with it. I love the cast. A lot of great people in there. But I don't know, I didn't love the show as much as I've loved like other comedy series where I wanted to finish and watch it. It got to a point where it felt like a chore to continue watching it, and I just got disinterested in the later seasons. Kayuk says, hey Chris, what is your plot theories for Doomsday? Oh, definitely. I think they're doing X-Men versus Avengers. I think we're gonna go multiverse hop to save Monica, and they're gonna get them 90 suits. And yeah, that's my thoughts. Dark Forest says movie idea for a serial killer takes DNA from people to create voodoo doll and have the person they control kill other people. What do you think? That's actually a pretty cool idea. That would be pretty cool and crazy. I could see a lot done with that plot. I'm stealing that, Dark Forest. That's my idea now. You don't own that. Alex Pioltuzzi says, have you ever seen the movie Tavern Minecraft Bucket? I have seen it. I got to figure out where all these buckets are at because this is the week I got to get them. Tavern Bucket. Oh, wait, I forgot to put Minecraft. Minecraft. Oh, is Movie Tavern the chain? Is that one? I'm trying to figure out where this bucket is at. Do you guys know? Who is selling this one? That's the main one I want. But I am going to try to get all of them. Obviously, I got to do a video and stuff for you guys. Whatchamacallit? Sorry, I just got a texty text. Rank these what if movies you'll see off of interest. Expendables 5, El Muerto, Madam Web 2, Morbius 2. Okay. If these movies happen, from excitement, bottom of the list, probably El Muerto. I just never thought that was a good idea. Madam Web 2 would probably be next. Just hilariously bad. Morbius 2 is just like, it was just It was like, you had some potential there, but it's just nothing that interesting. And then I guess it's Expendables 5. Expendables 4 is like one of the worst movies I've ever seen. But if they can have a decent budget and a genuine good plot, I'm always down to see famous actors do some actiony things. So, yeah. Sammy Alma says, oi, handsome, are you watching Yellow Jackets? That's a show I also gave up on. I watched the last couple seasons of Yellow Jackets, and it got to the point that the show just was too much teasing without answers. And so that frustrated me. And it would be like it'd be so much build up and build up and build up and barely any answers. I just got frustrated. It was cool. But once they got past the part of we did something worse than cannibalism, what is it? We're not going to tell you for 3 seasons. I just got bored of it. A lot of great performances, a lot of eerie moments. It's honestly gotten to the point where I just checked out. Is the new season good, though? You let me know. Isaac Sanchez says, hey, 3C, next year, NBC is turning 100 years old. They old. Good job, NBC. Good job. Thank you for letting me know. King Destroyer 311 says, I think it'll be cool if Spider-Man isn't in Doomsday and is in Secret Wars. Like Ant-Man when he wasn't in Infinity War and later in Endgame. Could be street-level story we're waiting for. Yeah, exactly. That's the only benefit I feel. It's just like, at least we'll get a street-level Spider-Man storytelling, you know? Let's see here. Sorry. Okay. Finally able to catch the stream live and on my B-day nonetheless. Keep up the great work, man. Oh, well, happy birthday, Alex. I hope you had a good one. Mangled Turtle says, who would win in a fight? The evil grandma from X or the evil grandma from The Visit? Oh, the grandma from X. Because that's Pearl, baby. Pearl crazy. But I do think the grandma from The Visit is a little bit more agile. She could probably take me on. Grandma from X, she a little slow. But she more deadly, in my opinion. FMB Studio says, rest of Doomsday cast reveal at Comic-Con. That'd probably be the best way to do it. Yep. Good. And it's probably going to be through chairs again. Hey, Chris. What's a 90s pre-classic film that you never watched until you were older that you really enjoyed? What's a pre-90s classic film that I never really enjoyed? I think probably movies like Catch Me If You Can. Let me try to think. No, that one's not pre-90s, is it? Catch Me If You Can is like 2002 or something. Let me see. Catch Me If You Can. That's 2000. I literally guessed that. It was 2002. Pre-90s classic films that you never watched until you were older that you really enjoyed. That's hard to just come off the top of my head. A lot of good stuff, though. I see, like I had a dad who was really into movies, so like I would watch a lot of that as a kid and pretty much end up liking most. I remember thinking I wasn't going to like Indiana Jones when I watched that like at, 10, 11, but I got so into those movies. They were so good. Uh if I think of somebody, I'll get to you. If I think of someone, I'll get to you. I'm sorry. Romeo says, "What is your thoughts on Invincible?" Oh, great show. Love it. If you want to know my in-depth thoughts on season 3 on the Clips channel, just type in 3C Films Invincible season 3 and I splurge on how much I love season 3. Holcomb says Sadie Sink might be Toby's daughter. Yeah, that's my going theory. I've said that since she was cast. I would love her to be Mayday Parker. That's my ongoing theory too. King Destroyer 311 says, honestly crazy, we're 2 films away from Doomsday. That is true, right? Because Thunderbolts and then Fantastic Four. And then we got ourselves Doomsday. That is pretty wild if we end up doing that. Oh, if we end up doing, sorry, I was trying to read a text and talk at the same time. That sense didn't make sense. I'm not slick with it. And I got caught. Apologies, chat. Apologies. Let's move on here. Roach 4K says, got any news on Spider-Man? I just joined. Oh, we talked about it earlier. Don't worry, at the end of the stream, I'll put in a timestamp, or you can see it on the Clips channel tomorrow morning. But quick summary, looks like Spider-Man 4 might take place during Doomsday. And that's interesting. Chameleon is also said to be the villain. But again, all just rumors. We'll find out eventually. Point Flash says, you look like Henry Cavill's Superman. Oh, I know who he is. I don't have to Google him. I see him in the mirror every morning. Ka-chow. DJ Clever says, what are your picks for an MCU Sinister Six? Honestly, Scorpion, Vulture, Shocker. I honestly would like Mysterio in there. And you can still keep Jake Gyllenhaal dead. And the reveal for how Mysterio is in there is just say like 5 of the guys who were working with Mysterio who are still alive and are out there, never got arrested for their crimes as far as we know. They're just keeping Mysterio alive through those drones, and he's part of the team in hologram form, and he's still pretty deadly in that form. So Mysterio. 5, who would I pick? I want him to have his own version of Rhino. Let's throw in an MCU Rhino. Let's have that fixed in there. And then 6, you got to have a leader. And that's either going to be a Doc Ock, MCU Doc Ock, or the MCU Green Goblin. For this instance, I will want MCU Doc Ock. Not Tobey Maguire's Doc Ock, MCU's Doc Ock. So there you go. Are you more excited for Doomsday or Spider-Man 4? It's funny, I got that asked twice. Right now, Doomsday, because of James Marsden Cyclops in there and the X-Men and the cast members I just saw, Namor and all those. I still have no idea what Spider-Man 4 is about. And until I know for sure, it's going to be Doomsday. Drew Pate says, love the channel. You're my go-to movie news. Do you think they will add animated characters in their animated form in Secret Wars? If they do, I just hope it's really quick. It's fast. If it's a long part or like a big character throughout the movie, it'll look weird for me. It will. I know I'm the Space Jam lover, but I'll just be like, this kind of pushing it, huh? ¿Cómo va, mi gringo? Give me some shows to watch. Currently watching Breaking Bad. Oh, then you got to jump onto Better Call Saul. And now I will admit, the first 2 seasons of Better Call Saul, little bumpy, little slow. You're going to be thinking to yourself, where is this going? Why do I care about these characters? This is just such a weird way to connect it to Breaking Bad. It pays off in those next 2 seasons, and that finale makes Breaking Bad even more better. Love Better Call Saul. I think by the end of Better Call Saul, it is as good as Breaking Bad. As good as Breaking Bad. Genuinely. As far as that goes, Severance. Check out Severance. Like that a lot. Jack Reacher for some fun. From, literally the show is just called From. It's on MGM Plus. Really awesome, addictive show. A lot of crazy things that happen in that show. That's very addictive watch. I'd recommend that. I'm trying to think of what else, but that's kind of about it. Yeah. Oh, I'm not saying Better Call season 1 and 2 are bad though. That wasn't what I was saying. I just remember watching it going, okay, this is enjoyable, but it's not like Breaking Bad level and then you see where all the storylines go and connect, and it really ends up being good. Let's see here. Leo, Johnny Depp, or Brad Pitt? Who's better? Leo. I love Leonardo DiCaprio. I just saw that trailer for the new Paul Thomas Anderson movie. Gonna be 100% honest with you. Although I like Paul Thomas Anderson, love his Adam Sandler's Punch Drunk Love, and all the movies he's done. Trailer didn't do much for me. If anything, I found the trailer a little weird. But I'ma watch it for my boy Leo. He's like Leonardo DiCaprio is the one actor on like I'll watch anything he does. Johnny Depp and Brad, there's movies they've done that I had no interest in, so I didn't watch them. Robert Trash says, it's my birthday, Chris. I'm 21. Orale, Robert. Drink responsibly, my friend. Have something sweet for me. Because if I drink, that's all I have is something sweet. I don't like the taste of alcohol. It makes me go, oh, that's strong. Every time. Every time. And I don't like the taste of beer. I think it's disgusting. LG Lopez says, can you please do a brief research on the Outlast game for those who don't know? You never played them. Just want you to get ready for the movie in the works. I'll have to do my research when that movie's coming up. So I'll definitely be doing that on my own time, my friend. I definitely will. I see a lot of people like that. So yeah. And I have some content creator friends who are really into it. So maybe I'll have them explain it to me. Samuel sends in some love. Thank you, Samuel. Slater Walker says, I seen something about Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius 2. Have you heard about anything that actually is happening? You're awesome. I remember seeing those rumors pop up. I think it's because one of the original creators of Jimmy Neutron was teasing that something was coming. But it's no word if it's a new rebooted show, if it's another Jimmy Neutron movie, because I do like that original Jimmy Neutron movie. Jimmy, Jimmy, that's the way, right? Love that movie. But if it's happening, I'm gonna watch it. I love Jimmy Neutron, the movie and the show as a kid. Elliot says, who do you want for Spider-Man 4? Scorpion, Vulture, Shocker, those people. Setting up Miles, so maybe the Prowler's thrown in there. Black Cat would be awesome. They did Black Cat. Elliot says Cyclops in Doomsday is genuine happiness. Yeah. I'm so happy we got him. I can't believe that they just confirmed it and now it's like official. You know, today I was literally on eBay trying to buy, because back when those movies came out, Oakley came out with the glasses that Cyclops was wearing, but ooh, eBay selling them for too much money. Too much money, man. Who do you think will die in Avengers Doomsday? Oh yeah, I answered that at the top of this stream. To me, I'm thinking it's the Thunderbolts. They're gonna be like the go-to frontline team, and they're gonna get wiped out. I think people like I was saying Bucky. People were saying Paul Rudd in the chat. That's possible. I'm thinking of people who have been in the MCU for a long time, completed their trilogy, their story arcs are kind of done, and now it's time for them to have a sad death. You know, that's the kind of people I was thinking of. S-Train says, have you seen the movie The Pee Pee Poo Poo Man? No, I have not seen that, and I doubt that's a real movie. I'd be surprised if that's a real thing. Blue Wolf 100 says, Cyclops redeemed in Doomsday. Glad he's coming back. He's gonna be redeemed, man. He was done so dirty sometimes in those movies. Never really got his own time to shine, and I do hope he says his line, to me, my X-Men. We have here, Bendy Inco 8 Film says, where's Lola Bunny tattoo? You said you were going to get... Well, give me some time, buddy. I got to get designs. I got to get flows looking. Maybe one day. I'll get it at the bottom of my foot so it could never be seen. I'll just get Andy on there. DJ Clever says, what would make the perfect horror movie? Oh, man. I mean, it's subjective. It's just what you like, what I like. It's all different. To me, it's just slasher movies. I just want some slashing and slashing. I don't know if there's really one way to make them perfect, though. As far as I can think of ones that are perfect, I mean, like the original Halloween, Michael Myers, Nightmare on Elm Street 3, in my opinion, I really like. Scream for its meta factor. But I don't say there's like a perfect one. Some people would say Exorcist. Slade Walker says Lilo and Stitch trailer looks awesome. I just wish they had the original Cobra Bubbles and the original Pleakley. I do wonder why they didn't bring back the actor who voiced Cobra Bubbles, because he's the same guy who's in the Mission Impossible movies, always wearing the hats and is the tech guy. Like he fits, he has the voice and he has the look. Why didn't we do that? But the actor they chose isn't bad either. Shrubby says nothing. Red Old Go Guy says, I just saw a movie called An Invitation to a Murder, and now I'm convinced Chris Browning would be great as the question in the DCU. Now, we thinking of the same Chris Brown? I don't know who that is. Chris Browning. I thought that was an adjective for a sec. Oh, this guy. He looks semi-familiar, but don't know him too well. Hey, if you say he's good, I'll trust you, buddy. I'll trust you. Merc Fusion says, where's the live action Ninjago movie news, man? Hey, it got announced. I did my part. Now it's also animated. So just like you saw with the Coco movie where they announced it, but it's not coming out to 2029. Ninjago movie probably not coming out. Oh, it's live action, so maybe not. It's gonna be a while though, buddy. But I ain't got no news for you now. Nick, are you sure? I'm invincing it. That's my favorite Invincible moment. Cowboy says, what's your thoughts on the Impractical Jokers? Is that really what you want to hear me talk about? It's sad. I think I love watching the Impractical Jokers. I think it's such a funny show. I think that type of comedy on the spot improv is so genius and hard to do. I respect it. So I've always liked all those guys. And so it's very disappointing when you hear one of them is maybe doing stuff like that. And yeah, so I didn't get too much into it. I know there's some people that are like, they don't think they believe the girl's allegations, but then other people have come forward. And even Joe himself did admit that he's like, is not doing the best of things and that he's checked himself into a facility. So that seems almost like an admission of some sort of guilt. All I could say is, again, disappointing, and it sucks when people you think are talented and fun end up being not so great people. Like I'm having kind of the same situation where, well, it's like with the Jonathan Majors stuff. I think Jonathan Majors is a fantastic actor. He could have been one of the best, and he was headed for an Oscar. Like, no joke. But it's sad that, you know, he is who he is, and there's that audio where he admits to choking a lady, and it's just like, even Ezra Miller. I thought Ezra Miller in Perks of Being a Wildflower, pretty good actor, was on his way to do other stuff. That other movie where, what was it? We Got to Talk About Jimmy or something. It was this horror movie or a thriller. But then Andrew Miller doing this. So it's just always disappointing. People you like, you know, end up doing that. It says here, Annex says, would you rather have dinner with Matt Murdock, stream with Foggy Nelson, go on a date with Karen Page, or Wilson Fisk Bagshaw? How is any of these? Of course, Matt Murdock dinner. What kind of question is that? Oh yeah, I want to stream with Foggy. I like the Foggy character, but what? Are we just gonna sit here and be like, I thought you died, dude. He's just here with bullet holes. 5 booms for Foggy, guys. 5 boom for Foggies. Cameron Bird says 280 SpongeBob The Reckoning. You know, the other day on the timeline, someone posted a modern day SpongeBob episode, and that's also sad. To see a show I loved and still meme about to this day, and just looking at it and not recognizing, where's the humor? Where's the fun? Where's the laughter? It's probably great for people who watch SpongeBob now, but it's just like, back in my day, this was peak. But yeah. Someone says, spoilers, Foggy died in the first episode weeks ago. If you don't know that by now, where you been, buddy? How come you've not been catching up? But I mean, they also casted Foggy for season 2, so I'm curious how they bring him back. Crispy says, will DP be in Doomsday? Ryan Reynolds controversy. Yeah, I mean, what is the controversy? That he's married to like somebody who's not that well liked right now? I don't think that's a big enough controversy to get him off of Doomsday. And it's also like, and even the side that is hating on him, it's not even the target audience of like the Avengers people. If he did something awful, then sure. But I mean, I don't think that's good. It's like the Shameik Moore situation where, you know, everybody's like, do you think they're going to replace him as Miles? Just because he was flirting with Haley Steinfeld and being a little cringy? Nah, no, they're not going to replace him for that. Sunday Joe, any interest in visiting Epic Universe? Oh yeah, dude. As soon as I saw the Monsters Castle and the Frankenstein animatronic, dude, those things look sick. Yes, I'm definitely going. I think in September. I probably won't go to Halloween Horror Nights because that'll be my trip to Epic Universe instead of Halloween Horror. Depends on what houses they announce, though. Depends on what houses they announce. Elliot says, "What do you want from the FNAF 2 trailer?" To see the look at the animatronics in motion, especially the toy animatronics. That's who I would really want to see. Let me see here. All right. Hey, Chris, I have not seen any Marvel superhero or any related to comics. Where would I even begin? I also want to be at Texas Frightmares too. Oh, nice, man. Maybe I'll see you there. Come by and give me a good old handshake. I'll always admit, although I've read comics and runs, I always just stick to characters I like. So I'll read Daredevil, like I've read the Frank Miller, I've read the Michael Bendis, I've read the Garth Ennis Punisher series. I've read a lot of the like the Ultimate Spider-Man run. Most of it, I never finished it, but I read most of it. I'll be honest with you, I never even read any Avenger comics. I've never read Captain America comics. I did read the Civil War comic because when I was preparing for the movie, that run. So honestly, there's websites for it. I would just stick to a character you like, and you can just search reading order or reading guide, and you can just pick an era that seems interesting to you. Because like for Spider-Man, obviously my favorite superhero, I went back and read the original 100 issues that first ever came out of Spider-Man, written by Stan Lee and all that. And yeah, they were outdated and maybe not the most compelling stories, but I found it fun to see where a lot of the characters came first time. Like the first time Dr. Octopus was introduced, the first time Scorpion was introduced and stuff like that. But then I eventually moved on to the 90s series, the Ultimate series and all that. So I would say just pick a Marvel character you're actually interested in, Google reading order, and then you'll see the eras. And then you'll pick an era that you feel is modern enough for you. Because, if you go to Batman, I don't think you're going to want to read all the way back to, Detective Comics, back in the 1930s. Because that's going to be a very outdated, not what you resemble Batman. But then you'll get to, maybe the 80s and 90s and be like, okay, that storyline looks interesting. Let me jump there. And so, yeah. The dogs are barking because my lady came home. And anytime that the garage door's open, they go crazy. Sorry. The Chicken Man says here, I remember seeing somewhere that we will get an MCU movie release on February 13th of next year, and you are a welcome Los Pollos at any time. Thank you. Yeah, there was a rumor, I think it was from Daniel RPK. It was before we were getting the announcements of the Doomsday cast. He was like, I think this might be the announcement. That's supposedly the date for Black Panther 3. But I don't know if that will come out next year because they got to get moving. They got to start filming. There's no way that could be Black Panther 3 for next year. Maybe 2027, but we'll see. But yeah. Awesome dude 345621 says, dude, we got to have Danny DeVito as Wario. I mean, as the voice, that'd be pretty good. Live action works great. I guess voice-wise, that would also be great. And now that I think about it, Nick Offerman would not be great as Wario. That'd be a very different Wario. That's not like what I picture Wario sounding. I could 100% see Danny DeVito voicing Wario. Cookie Mouse says, have you seen Death of a Unicorn yet? If so, are you planning to review it? I saw it today. It was fun. I did see it. I'm debating on reviewing it. It's just the way, and I know people hate when I admit this, but it's true. It's just whenever I post low-performing review videos, they hurt the channel in the long run. That just sucks. It was a really fun movie, but it was also just kind of hey, I liked it. There's some people who really didn't like it, so maybe that's the talking point. I would get in on it because I can understand why some people weren't into it. But also, if I'm trying to watch Woman in Black, or what I keep saying Woman in Black, and the movie's called Woman in the Front Yard. I have to pick and choose. So we'll see. It all depends on the time and stuff. It's just the weekend is my family time. So that's why you just don't see me post too much on the weekend. And then I got swamped with the Doomsday stuff this week, so then I just didn't end up doing it. My Wolbus, says, hey, Chris, watch Wendy's training video. It's a bop. Wendy a bop? That a fact. Estran says the pee pee poo poo movie is real. Google it. Oh my goodness. Okay, pee pee poo poo movie. Oh, it is real. What the hell? It looks like is it on Netflix or what is it? It says the pee pee poo poo movie came out in 2024. A paranoid young man launches a bizarre crime spree against a citizen of Toronto. I'm assuming he's just pee-peeing and poo-pooing everywhere. It has 8.5 stars from 16 reviews. Seems like some sort of fan film or something, buddy. But cool. Len509 says, Chris, did you read the Born Again comic series? It's only loosely based on it, but it's considered one of the best Daredevil stories. I never did read the Born Again one, so I probably should. That'd be a good one. But I like the Frank Miller origin. One of the Man Without Fear. It's probably my favorite Daredevil comic. Chronic says, $1. Thank you, Chronic. DP69 says, would you rather smash duplicate or win or lose mom? Buddy, it's duplicate. Day and night. I mean, I could have 4. What am I going to do with 4 duplicates? Disappoint them, but I'm going to have them. Making 11 says, are you going to CinemaCon? No, like I said, I have the opportunity, and if I really wanted to, I could go. But I honestly just prefer being at my desk, and right when the news is, I can make my content, post it for you guys right away, and you can see it. They were going to show How to Train Your Dragon, and I am excited for that movie, but it's like, I don't think I need to see it right away to review it. So maybe next year, honestly. Maybe next year, that might be the year I finally go. And that way I could do a vlog and like show you everything there. DJ Cleffer says, did you read my horror film super chat? What was the horror film super chat? Yeah, the one about what makes a perfect horror movie? I did read it. And there was no answer for it, unfortunately. There was no definitive answer. Let me just see. There we go. The Broken Table says, most memorable moment in your YouTube journey. My first ever YouTube check. I know that's probably not like, you know, like, oh, okay, who cares about money? No, trust me. If I did, you'd be seeing ads on every video, like, you know, sponsored NordVPN, this and that. I really do this because I make enough through YouTube and TikTok. Now with that new YouTube update where they've messed with the ads, I really am seriously considering doing membership because that's become a headache, unfortunately. But just the first time, like, it was my first check was $800. And that was just like, wow, that's a usual check for what I was making at the time at the whatever job I was working at. I think it was still a call center. And so it was just like, I just got to check for what I make by week, like at my it was just mind blowing. It was just like, I couldn't believe it. The day I hit like 10,000 subscribers, that was also crazy because I was like, people are watching me. There's actually fans. Maybe the first time a video went like viral, as in like got a lot of views, which I think was my Hereditary ending explain video. That was a crazy day because I was getting nothing but like 100 views here, 200 views there. Then I saw Hereditary, loved it. But when I was walking out, my girlfriend was like, who's my fiance now, she was like, I don't get that movie. I don't understand what it was about. And I was like, really? It's like about this and it's this and she's like, oh. And I was like, if she didn't get it, I wonder if other people didn't. So I went home and did an ending explain. And then I woke up and it had 48,000 views. And that was mind blowing because I was like, I just went from averaging 200, 300 views to posting a video, going to bed, waking up and seeing it had 40,000 views. I was like, what? That was probably a core memory of YouTube. Man, that's honestly a lot. Stuff like that. Yeah, good stuff. Check out this thing I tagged you in on TikTok. Something you should see. My goodness, buddy. What if it's some brain rot nonsense? I'm gonna have to. Let's see here. All right. Is it the 3C editor one or is it this one? Oh, is it the AI Avengers Doomsday video? Somebody took the concept art and put it into an AI machine. I did see that, but It's just slop. I hate AI slop. Kinder Destroyed 311 says, "Hey Chris, what do you think the specifications of Wendy from FD30 or Kimberly FD2D?" What? Oh, the speculations. Oh, I thought we were talking about that Wendy's training video. Final Destination 3 or Final Destination make an appearance in Final Destination 6. I would love it because it would mean she survived, and she was a really beloved character. So I'd be down for it, but I don't know. It looks like they're trying to do some twist, and that's kind of become the thing with a lot of Final Destination movies where they try to like, gotcha, twist. Top 3 fried chicken spots. Ooh. My family was a Church's family growing up. We liked Church's chicken, so I kind of got sick of it growing up. But then one day I did KFC, and I was like, oh, I see why my daddy didn't get KFC, because it's not. Maybe it was good years ago, but at times I've ordered KFC. Ugh. So Church's, Popeyes above that. I actually do like Popeyes chicken. As far other than that, though, I don't have many other chicken spots. That's about as much chicken as I'm eating, and I rarely eat fried chicken. M King 11 says, "You Den of Nerds and Cosmic need to make a podcast. Crazy crossover." I'd happy to be on their videos or whatnot if they want me to. I don't know if we could dedicate time for a podcast. They're busy, I'm busy, but you know, one time collab on their channel or my channel, that could be fun. Cookie Mouse says, "Oh, do I know the feeling of waking up to a banger?" Whoa, now Cookie Mouse, this is a family household. No, a thing from 3C Edits. Oh, okay, the 3C Edits one. It's always funny when people create edits of me. Thank you for that, DP. Bill Bugsby Entertainment says, "Tickle Mickey's Willy for me, Chris." I'll tickle it real good. Scrap says, "Thoughts on the FNAF 2 announcement video?" Yeah, I definitely think they're announcing something at CinemaCon. Probably going to be a teaser trailer. I'd love it if on the stage they brought out the animatronics and costumes, but probably not. Poster for sure for the audience. We'll see if they release a teaser for the people, but probably also information on the release date and things like that. Good night, Papa 3C. Good night, Crispy. I meant in terms of your oh, okay, good. Good, Cookie Mouse. That's how we do it here in this house. And well, that is the final super chat, my dudes. Your boy's tummy's been rumbling. I'm a little hungry. Oh, I don't know why I scooted the mic away. That's not proper streaming etiquette. Daddy's gonna order some late night food that's probably not good for him, but I had a great time with you guys. Y'all are fantastic. Don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Clips channel for any of the topics we got into. You know how it is. Y'all are amazing. I'll see you with more movie news content coming your way. CinemaCon next week. Chugga, chugga, chugga. All right. See you guys. Good night.